Shangguan, a few words haven't export, that white-purple figure suddenly drop, instantly disappeared in the horizon. Little 5. Little dance. Suddenly, the white shadow like the wind, also disappeared in the blink of an eye on the horizon. Meng Bai, Situ Lan, and Shangguan take a step back and feel a little relieved. Nangong Yi looks at the surface of the ground and takes a step back quietly. A thin and cool smile appears under the white yarn. Facing the wind, two figures embrace each other, white clouds and mists are hazy, flowers and grass are on both sides, butterflies fly, geese fly, just like the most beautiful fairyland in the world. Little thing, I wish you could be so good forever. Dragon Qing evil circle cloud waist, some cool thin lips attached to her ear, with a trace of charm, looking at the top of the people who are greeting, mouth raised a smile. When I become disabled one day, I can do what you want. Yunwu can't help rolling his eyes. This guy's preference is different from that of normal people. He should like to give him an inflatable doll. The power of the Jilingdan is really strong. She uses herself as a container to gather the power of the Jilingdan, and then releases it all to open the border. However, she didn't expect that her body was paralyzed because she couldn't bear the sudden power. What she didn't expect was that there was a cliff under the boundary. Paralyzed and on a cliff, can she not be frightened or sad, feel better? Dragon Qing evil attached to her ears, like silk around, a pair of eyes like the stars and the moon, shining gently doting, such a pair of eyes, no matter who saw will fall into it. The wind blows, the skin is cool, but the heart is hot and dry. It's better that you stay away from me. Yunwu pretends to be indifferent and covers up her inner palpitations. Her immunity to this guy seems to be getting lower and lower now. Suddenly, on the cliff in mid-air, a sharp and manic force came towards them, and all the places where the power passed were razed to the ground. Dragon Qing evil enchantment smile, you blush appearance, for husband seems to like more. The next second, his golden eyes slightly heavy, thin lips dangerous smile, a wave of long sleeves, the strength rebounded, directly the flame of the phoenix in mid-air hit fly, in the blink of an eye, two people have been safe landing. After landing, Yunwu was almost able to stand, her cheeks flushed for a moment, and raised her eyes to stare at the dragon. Shameless. Mingming can come up soon, deliberately dragging Mama. The next second, a shadow of a person falls in the air, opens his broad chest, and pours directly at the cloud dance. Before the cloud dance reacts and refuses, he is dragged by a force of hegemony and falls into a familiar chest. My woman, only I have this right. Small Stinky angrily stares at the dragon. To poor evil, Lo Wei, let go of hemp. I'm the mother. The cloud dances, the eyes light sinks, good familiar dialogue. She gently pushed the dragon away and looked back at Feng Huang. Her eyes were thin and cool. What can I do for you? Son, tell her what we need from her. Feng Huang holds the hand of little Stinky all the time, but little Stinky struggles all the time. Heard Feng Huang asked him, he grinned, showing a row of white teeth, do not want to answer, because I want to numb. As soon as the words came out, one immediately turned black and the other immediately cheered. Cloud dance lips outline a perfect radiant. It's worth being called numb for so long. It's still very stance. I'm here to break the contract with you. Feng Huang's eyes were burning with anger. At the moment, a trace of Cloud Dance's smile was quite dazzling in her eyes. Rescind the contract. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny pick, pupil mao instant then asterisk come down, a touch of dangerous Sun Leng ray swept out, do you have this right? I'm his mother. Of course I have the right. Is it? Cloud Dance sneers, you say if we fight now, who will he help? Hearing the words, Feng Huang suddenly kept silent, and then her tone became more fierce. You have always been the thorn in the flesh of the beast gate. Making a contract with my son can only drag him down. I don't allow you to drag him down. Are you not allowed, or are you not allowed by the beast gate? Cloud Dance pick eyebrows, eyes with irony. You. Feng Huang wants to say and stop, no matter who it is, this contract must be rescinded. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, then cold way, to terminate the contract can, but you have to know that at the beginning he was willing to contract with me, now he must agree to terminate the contract." He agreed. Feng Huang, obviously a little stunned, probably did not expect that it was the small stinky initiative to ask for the contract. "Son, break the contract and go back with your mother." Feng Huang pulls Xiaoqiu and persuades him patiently, but Xiaoqiu looks at Yunwu all the time with a pure smile. Hearing Feng Huang's words, Xiaoqiu immediately shook his head. "No, I want numbness." Feng Huang heard little Stink was not willing to terminate the contract, eyes a dull, more shocked. "Listen to Mom." "Mama." Stinky, while Feng Huang relax, quickly break free, ran to the Cloud Dance side, extremely excited, called her Num. Cloud Dance looks at the little Stink, a trace of softness passes in her eyes, and her lips are slightly crooked. His body is a sunny and handsome young man, but his mind is a child of 4 or 5 years old, and his IQ is about 10 years old. "I really don't know how old he should be. Go back to your space, Hongling is still waiting for you." After hearing this, Xiaoqiu immediately grinned and nodded. In the past few days when he left Yunwu, he didn't show a smile. When he saw Yunwu, it seemed that the whole weather was fine. Cloud Dance heart read a move, small Stink then disappeared in front of Feng Huang. "Where have you got my son?" Feng Huang denounced a roar, a rapid edge rub ran hit, residual shadow stay, Cloud sighed to avoid a blow. Looking at the crazy Feng Huang, Yunfei also knows that as a mother, she wants to keep her son, but at least now Feng Huang can't. Now she is under the control of the Beast Gate. It's the idea of the Beast Gate to chase and kill them. It's probably the temptation of the Beast Gate to let Xiaoqiu terminate the contract with her. Now to give Xiaoqiu to her is equal to giving him to the Beast Gate. She will never allow it. "Feng Huang, you keep asking for sons. Haven't you considered the Phoenix family? Now the Phoenix people want to kill him. Can you protect him?" Shangguan finally couldn't help but remind her that this woman is actually poor. If she can help, it's a bit of virtue for the Beast Gate. "I'll kill whoever hurts him. It doesn't matter if they are your people." The cloud dances, the lips open, and the satire emerges. Smell speech, the Phoenix goddess color a stay, manic anger seems calm, eyes into a dark calm, seems to be considering the words of Cloud Dance. Feng Huang is under control. Striking while the iron is hot may wake her up. Your son's father, the Dark Beast, should be in Phoenix now. If you're right, the Beast Gate has released the Dark Beast while Feng Huang is searching for them with a little stink. How can he is not? Feng Huang's eyes sank, and she half believed Yunwu's words. Yunwu just smiles and questions her words. It seems that she has recovered some sense. In this way, things will be easier. If you don't believe it, let's go and see who you can trust. Feng Huang nodded. Although her eyes were alert, she had no intention of killing in anger. I'll go with you for a while. If it's not what you said, I'll let you in and out. Cloud Dance Light glances at her one eye, then looks at the person behind. Go together. Of course. How can you leave Xiaowu alone? The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to raise, tiny jaw head, turn round to follow the Phoenix female to leave. Wait a minute. Nangong Yi suddenly stops Yunwu. Cloud Dance looked back, with a trace of doubt in her eyes. What's the matter? Under the white gauze, Nangong Yi's estranged eyes look at her. It's all complicated. After a long time, he wants to talk but stops, and he doesn't know how to open his mouth. Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly, and then said indifferently, it doesn't matter if you know what you can't retreat from, even if you take your life. After that, she turned and left. The purple robe, just like her unchanging habit and belief, made great efforts to reach the strongest point, become the person who controlled her own destiny, and become the woman who fought side by side with the man behind her. Nangong Yue Chui Jun Mao, revealing a smile that is not easy to detect. He has extra worries. I've known her for a long time. What she wants to do, even if the knife rest is around her neck, she won't shrink back. Knowing that the heart of the wind is in the Phoenix clan, how can she leave and shrink back because of danger? Then it's not her. Warm and cool smile spread around the corner of the mouth, followed by purple figure disappeared in the distance. The road ahead is dangerous. It's guarding and protecting. His choice is only these two. The rest can only be left to Dragon Qingxie. Compared with his worries, he seemed to know her better. He didn't ask about the danger ahead or any reason. He just followed her and let her live freely according to her will. He tried his best to help her and fight with her at the most critical and dangerous time. Fighting hand in hand and caring far away are two different modes. Within the Phoenix family, the vast space is filled with darkness, like an endless black veil covering the whole Phoenix family. The stillness of death, the bloody killing, the repressed breath, the completely dark space, the endless forest cool, all the way to the edge of hell. Yunfei and his party came to the Phoenix family. Feng Huang was completely stunned when she saw the dark space. It's really him, this dark breath, this arrogant release. In addition to him, there will be no second person. Not only she, but also Yunwu was very surprised to see this scene. The power of the dark beast was beyond estimation. In the Phoenix clan, most of the people who did not submit to the beast gate were imprisoned in an open place, squatting on the ground without dignity, and the Phoenix itself could not be revealed. They are the ones who want to kill your son, and they are the ones who drive your wife and children out of the Phoenix clan. They have been imprisoned for many years. Can you really swallow this breath? A dark-looking man in a black robe stood at the entrance of the stone palace and said to it. On the wall of the stone palace, you can see a layer of black mist rising and circling. Cloud frowning, their own darkness can penetrate the wall. You can imagine how angry the dark beast is at the moment. Misty head on to a obliteration. Not only that, I was imprisoned for a while, but my son was contracted by human beings. Is this the once noble dark clan? Rubbish. Seeing that the dark beast didn't answer, the man in black robe continued to speak, sarcastic and incisive, and his words were admirable. Remember to me that you are human, too. In the stone palace, the dark beast finally spoke. That response is like a blade that has been covered with dust for thousands of years. Although the surface is dim, it is still a good weapon. If it doesn't come out, it is the smell of blood. Bang! With a loud noise, the gravel was flying like a meteor in the air. In the hazy, the stone palace was razed to the ground, and a dark body with darkness appeared in the hazy sight. Huge, bloodthirsty, dark. All of a sudden, the whole dark Phoenix family is like the night, and the breath of darkness completely engulfs the day. This huge infection comes from the dark beast on the opposite side. What a terrible opponent. You have succeeded in arousing my anger. When the dark beast roars at the sky, dark clouds fill the sky, thunder and lightning, darkness and anger mingle, burning half of the sky. Suddenly, the dark beast suddenly looked back at the desert behind him. The scarlet eyes belonging to Warcraft were stained with blood. Where are they? Moen said with a smile, you should find it yourself instead of asking me. Ah! A scream of death followed by a jiao call. Like a chicken, a Phoenix clan was caught in the palm of his hand by the dark beast. The blood flowed along the arc of his hand. The arc was getting closer and smaller. Finally, the person in his hand was crushed and thrown on the ground. If you ask once and you don't get the answer you want, you can kill one. You don't have to say it. I'll allow it. That's arrogant. Shangguan looked at the dark beast and couldn't help sighing. See, now the Phoenix clan has been controlled by the Beast Gate, and he has also been instigated by the Beast Gate and started to attack the Phoenix clan. Cloud Dance looking at Feng Huang, kindly remind. Feng Huang looked at the killed Feng Huang people. Her face was pale and she murmured, I'm really wrong. Cloud Dance sneers, it's your fault, and it's also the fault of the Beast Gate. It depends on whether you can correct it. She took out a pill from the space and handed it to Feng Huang. The pill was developed by her Tuhiao, which was specially used to restrain the magic of 10,000 beasts. Feng Huang didn't ask what it was. She took the pill and swallowed it. In her eyes, Yunwoo now should be the only one she can trust. You are the only one who can stop him. Yunwoo looks at the crazy and bloodthirsty dark beast, and a wave of waves sweeps through his eyes. Suddenly, the cloud danced and the look of his eyes changed. The next second, Guwu's broadsword swept out, cut the side straight, and jumped back to turn over. Looking at the black-robed man suddenly appeared in front of him, Yunwoo's hand holding the black flame sword was slightly tight. I advise you to be honest and be obedient, otherwise. The black-robed man looked at the cloud dance, and the greedy look in his eyes flashed by. I want this woman. Yes, the people in black who were hiding around them answered in unison. You want her? Smell speech, cloud dance looking at the hand of the ancient sword, a sneer blooms on the blade, like licking blood devil recovery, she cold look back. Can you afford it? It's up to you whether you can afford it or not. The black-robed man's palm was slightly raised, a lazy attack posture, and the people around him rushed towards them instantly. Poof! Bang! Well. With the spread of all kinds of terrible sounds, the man in black, who flew in the air, suddenly turned back along the original track, and the power that came out was still on them. Shocked, a white figure fell from the sky. Posture evil, people can't move their eyes, such a person's time is probably only one person. For my woman, the price is always a little. Long Qingxia plays with the dagger in his hands, and his thin lips outline a dangerous smile. Suddenly, a man in black who had just been hit and flew barely stood up. The next second, he screamed and fell to the ground again. The black-robed man looked at the bloody dagger on the man's chest, at the dragon's evil eyes, a trace of surprise loomed. I'm sorry. I was going to stab it, but I missed it. Long Qingxia pointed to a rabbit running in the distance, looking lazy, thin lips still outlined a harmless smile. The black-robed man pointed at the dragon, his teeth clucking. Then he yelled at the people of the Beast Gate, kill him for me. Suddenly, a group of black-robed people appeared from nowhere. There were about 20 of them, and they came with great momentum. The rabbit is here. Long Qingxia looks at the rabbit behind the man in black robe, grins at the corner of his mouth, and plays with the dagger twice. The man in black robe quickly takes a few steps away from the side. What are you afraid of? My technique is pretty good. Give it to me. The man in black roared angrily. Ah! The black-robed man screamed, and then remembered that a dagger pulled wildly straight into the black-robed man's arm. Long Qingxia glanced at the black-robed man, his eyes were evil and bloodthirsty. Cloud Dance cold lips a hook, showing a cold smile, it seems that you really can't afford. At the moment when her voice fell, the dark air appeared in the sky. She glanced at it warily. It turned out that it was the dark beast. Where did they hide our son? Although this is asking Feng Huang, what he sees is Yunwoo. That vision is like the cliff of the night, dark cannot see the edge, gloomy terror. Feng Huangnu looked at the dark beast, looking a little excited. You actually hurt the people of the Phoenix family. Don't they die? What did they do to me? What did it do to us? You were sealed voluntarily, you. Feng Huang wants to talk and stops, seems to think of something, and her face turns pale instantly. He's controlled by the Beast Gate, too. This is unusual, Cloud Dance also found, slightly frown willow eyebrow, looking at 10,000 beast door eyes Morrison cool. Little Dance, let's go. Situlan said a word to Yunwoo. Smell speech, Cloud Dance, the forest of the eye ground cool some, afterward she micro jaw head, express can. The dark beast has been used by the Beast Gate now. Although the Phoenix people are imprisoned, they are even more resentful to them and human beings. It's okay to deal with the Beast Gate, but if you add the Phoenix people, it's not easy to fight. Now it's better to leave and think of a way. Looking back at the dark beast, the cloud danced, and there was a trace of helplessness in his eyes. The last priest died at a bad time, and this guy was also restless, which attracted all kinds of beasts and ate the evil consequences. Why, want to run? At the moment when several people turned around, the sarcastic voice of the black-robed man stabbed by Dragon Qingxie rang. A few people's bodies slightly pause, and then look back. If you want to run, you can leave this woman to be happy with me. Black-robed people look at the clouds, greedy eyes. At that moment, the air around suddenly killed. Yunwu felt the dangerous air from behind. Looking back at the moment, the dark sky suddenly lit up a strange white hole, like the sky opened a gap. Suddenly, there was a strange darkness in the white cave, and the dark haze seemed to be brewing. Suddenly, a shadow appeared in the white hole. Ah! A scream followed by a sound. At that moment, time seemed to be static. Everyone looked at the devoured man in black robe, staring at the dragon's evil eyes, as if they saw a hell. What have you done? Looking at the devastated companion, the black-robed man glared at the dragon. It's just a slight punishment, with a warning by the way. Long Qingxie looks at the clouds, and the corners of his mouth still outline the radiance of the evil. Cloud Dance droops eyes. This degree of injury, he has been merciful. Kill them for me. The black-robed man roared, then looked at the phoenix people. Kill them, and you will be free. Smell speech. All people look at each other, looked at a desert dark. There was nothing unusual in the dim look. Kill them. Yes, Fenghuang people swarmed on. For them, not only a few people are dancing in the clouds, but the people of the Beast Gate also have to get rid of the Phoenix clan and solve the problem that everyone is the same first. A bunch of stupid X. Cloud Dance Mao Guangyin is cold, the killing intention all around appears for a moment, retreats again, looks back to the dragon to pour evil, run. A gust of wind, a few people instantly disappeared in place. 10,000 beast men followed Fenghuang people and kept on chasing Yunwu. At this time, a black-robed man appeared in the air, looking at the clouds, his eyes rubbed angrily. The Lord has orders to let them die first. The smell of killing permeated behind several people. Looking at the people who came after them, their faces were a little ugly. Xiao Wu, it's not the way to go on like this. Shengguan looked at the people who were chasing after him and frowned. Cloud Dance did not answer, still flying fast, purple clothes in the dark air blooming sharp radiant, every windward call pull, as if a sharp blade, representing her anger at the moment. I can't. There's no need to be a counselor, is there? Situ Lan looked at Yunwu and glanced at the people behind him, which was rare. Suddenly, the sharp rotation of the purple sharp suddenly stopped. Long Qingxie, Nangong Yi and others also follow Yunwu's shadow and stop. Has it been decided? Nangong Yi glances at the people who are getting closer behind him. His eyes are cool. Turn around and look back, Cloud Dance, mouth slightly pursed. The next second, has been looking weak. Little things appeared in her palm, her eyes down playing with the hands of small potatoes, the corners of her mouth arc raised. Teach them a lesson. She's talking about them. They don't include the phoenix. What is that in your hand? Shengguan looks at the little potato in Yunwu's hand and slightly raises eyebrows with curiosity. What did she do with that little thing at this critical moment? A little warcraft. The cloud dances the corners of the mouth to raise to smile, caresses the small warcraft's soft but some abrupt uneven body, said the breeze is light. What do you want it for? Shengguan knew that it was not a good thing. Do it with momentum. She didn't want to be joking. Do momentum. The corner of Shengguan's mouth suddenly twitched. She used a little thing bigger than her fist to make momentum. She really wanted to open up. Cloud Dance glances at Shengguan. I'm also drunk. I glance at the dragon. When she touched Long Qingxie's smiling golden eyes, she picked an eyebrow at him. Long Qingxie also agreed with her. The rest of them were puzzled by the strange interaction between them. Only Nangong Yi, after he saw the little warcraft in Yunwu's hand, looked surprised all the time. Micro squint thin cool eyes, he drooped contemplation, that wipe unusual breath, what is it? Pa pa. Cloud dance in small potato body gently called 2 slaps, see small potato open bleary eyes, some wrong dissatisfied looking at cloud dance. She looked at the little potato with a smile, which looked like a loving mother. At that moment, little potato suddenly came to the spirit, blinking 2 sharp eyes, looking at her for a moment. See those people in black in front of you? Yunwoo pointed to the man in black on the opposite side. Smell speech, small potato excitedly in cloud dance palm jumped a few times, also don't know is understand or didn't understand, anyway is happy not. Tear them to pieces and die. She didn't know whether it understood or not. Anyway, she went on talking about her. The little guy danced by himself. At the same second when the last word of Yunwoo was finished, the little guy in his hands suddenly disappeared, and there was nothing in his palm. Ah! Then she heard a scream. Looking at it, I saw a black-robed man at the front, covering one eye, bending over in pain, and falling to the ground from mid-air with a bang. The blood was dripping down the palm of the man's hand. Before everyone could recover, Yunwoo suddenly found that the potato in her palm appeared again, which seemed more excited than just now. Before Yunwoo asked what was the matter, the little potato disappeared again, and there was another scream, so the cycle after a while, 5 black-robed people all fell to the ground. Shangguan and Situ Lan looked at the miserable black-robed man. As enemies, they could not help shaking their heads sympathetically. The animal nature is bad and bloodthirsty. It's not bad at all. The upper officer pretended to be afraid and shook. Xiao Wu, what kind do you have? Too cunning, isn't it? The 5 men who attacked the beast gate were not hurt at all, and even they couldn't see how it did it. What's more, they didn't even catch the shadow of its attack. Even if Warcraft itself is cunning, but it is so small, it is not so enigmatic, right? Cloud Dance did not answer, just looking at the hands of small potatoes back again, soft eyes. This guy is also a descendant of ancient Warcraft. She expected to have such ability. It's a pity that this little thing hasn't grown up. It's still so small and has no outstanding ability. It's a headache for her. Anyway, she is also a descendant of the Millennium Warcraft. Can't you surprise her? That's... The black-robed man in mid-air looked at the little guy in Yunwoo's hand and showed a look of surprise. He saw the shadow of the ancient Warcraft on the little Warcraft. Give it up. At this time, in the dark of the sky, Shang Guanli suddenly appeared, looking at the little potato in Yunwoo's hand, his eyes were dim. Vice Lord, is that the ancient Warcrafts? The black-robed man wanted to confirm something, but after touching the chilly atmosphere of Shangguan calendar, he wanted to say nothing but to lower his head and stop talking. Shangguan. Bring it to me. Without waiting for Yunwoo to speak, Shangguanli looked at Shangguan with deep eyes and gave him orders. His tone and attitude seemed to be speaking to a subordinate without any emotional fluctuation. When Yen, Shangguan's rebellious eyebrows slightly raised, I'm not interested in that thing, you want to take it yourself. Son of a bitch. Shangguan was very angry. Yes, don't you know that for a long time? Shangguan disdains Linghum. Is the father who can give orders to kill his own son qualified to say that he is a sinful son? Shangguanli's face was as blue as iron, just like a skeleton's fingers. In a twinkling of an eye, he let go, but the killing intention around him suddenly became more and more icy. Take them. Shangguanli's tone was flat. Then he glanced at Shangguan and said, those who resist will be killed. He looked at Shangguan, meaning something. When Shangguan heard his order, his uninhibited eyes flashed an abnormal sneer, and then a bunch of black flames burned in his palm, which instantly knocked the black-robed man around Shangguan calendar away. This is a silent statement of position. Shangguan's eyes were full of grief and indignation, and his cold anger was burning in his eyes. With a wave of his hand, all the black-robed people swarmed up in an instant. At the moment, the people of the Phoenix clan have been controlled by the people brought by Shangguanli, but after a tour of Yunwoo, only the shadow of the desert has disappeared. The sword collides, the strength strikes, a fierce need blood baptism battle started. Hand over the little Warcraft. A touch of cold black wind's palm power came, and the cloud danced in the air for a moment. The black flame broadsword resisted. Although it had done its best, it still retreated after being hit by that palm power. Fortunately, it could still stand firm. What do you want it for? Cloud Dance holds the black flame big knife, the corner of the mouth peeps out the radiance of a smile. Nature works, you don't have to know. Yunwoo agreed that she didn't need to know about him, but if you want to take it from me, it's none of my business. What belongs to her, only she wants to give or does not want to give. As long as you hand over something, I can let you leave the Phoenix family safely. Shang Guanli compromises. If Yunwoo knows the truth, he will choose to leave and agree to leave. Unfortunately, she won't leave, but she doesn't want to die like this. Since you've stepped back, I'll take a step back and make a bet with you. If you win, it belongs to you. We're free to deal with it. I'll win. Everything of Phoenix belongs to me. Don't play childish games with me. Give it up. Shang Guanli seems to disagree with this bet. Cloud Dance sneers. Do you think it's too childish or afraid of losing? All right. Cloud Dance helpless sigh. Since you want, I give it to you, catch it. With a wave of her hand, the potato flew out in a perfect arc, and rolled 2 times in the air. At the moment when she threw out the little potato, the purple figure moved out dozens of steps and disappeared in front of Shang Guanli's eyes, while Long Qingxi followed them. Xiao Wu, isn't that a good idea? Shang Guan had no choice. You can go back. The clouds gave him a glance. Shang Guan's mouth was shriveled and he didn't speak anymore. His father alone was enough for them to drink, not to mention other people. Things have become more and more difficult to deal with. Wan's human just wanted to control the Phoenix clan with dark evil beasts, but they bumped into them by accident. Now the situation has changed. All the spearheads are pointing at them. Dare they come to block the guns for Wan's human? Just as several people left, there was a very angry roar behind them. It was the roar of wild animals, full of powerful and sharp. Situ Lan looked back and saw that the little potato's body was burning like a layer of flame, and its power was absolutely not so powerful. Roar. With a sound of animal chant and all kinds of screams, a few black-robed people immediately lit a fire. The fire burned several people beyond recognition, and only some ashes were left. Shang Guanli looks at Zayatudu, his face is gloomy, his palm is empty, and he controls Zayatudu directly. Zayatudu struggles a few times, but he doesn't get away. Roar. Little Potato sprayed the flame to Shang Guanli again, but Shang Guanli didn't even hide. He accepted the fire's attack directly. Strangely, after the fire retreated, he was unharmed. Small potatoes see this scene, Round Gulu's eyes are a little surprised, see things are not good, began to struggle fiercely in Shang Guanli hands. The more it struggled, the tighter Shang Guanli pinched. Finally, it directly pinched its face, and squeezed its nose, eyes and mouth together. It looked funny. The next second, Little Potato body suddenly shrunk, Shang Guanli only feel the strength of a loose hand, where there is Little Potato figure. Looking at the disappearing Little Potato, Shang Guanli raised a fierce smile at the corner of his mouth. His figure trembled and swept in the direction of Yunwoo. This is the so-called summoner. Can he only run away? The sullen voice forced several people to stop. Just like ghosts, Shang Guanli has appeared in front of several people. I just don't want to see your face. Cloud Dance lazy eyes, a pair of leisure elegant appearance. At the end of the speech, Shang Guanli's face was overcast, and void slapped at Yunwoo. Poof. The next second, Shang Guanli's face suddenly changed, stepped back, and a mouthful of old blood came out. Seeing this scene, the corner of Cloud Dance's mouth rises slightly, which is useful at last. You. Shang Guanli slightly narrowed his eyes and tried to regulate the agitation in his body, but he was still a little surprised at the bottom of his eyes. You know how to use the conjunctions. As the name suggests, only the summoner can use the enchantment. Its power can make Shengguan calendar pop up a mouthful of old blood, needless to say. It's called calling the border. Cloud danced slightly jaw-head, as if he is just no such a thing. Shengguanli wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at the clouds darkly. Just in that moment, the people of the Phoenix clan and the people of the Beast Gate had arrived. Shengguan's people of the Beast Gate in the past dynasties made an offensive look, and then they were in the air with both hands. They directly used their power in the void, as if they wanted to tear open the summoning boundary. Looking at the beginning of the summoning border, there is a little gap. The clouds are dancing and the willow eyebrows are slightly frowning. It seems that the summoning border can't isolate Shengguan calendar. Little thing, I'll give the old man a lesson to my husband. Dragon Qing evil thin lips a young, pay along the Shengguan calendar torn border mouth suddenly attack, white figure with a cool taste, has appeared outside the border. One black and one white, two figures fight fiercely. Yunwu knows that he wants to test Shengguanli's real strength first. Except Shengguanli, I'm afraid none of the people below have the ability to open it. You want to solve him alone, but I don't agree. It's better for me, the young master, to solve the problem of the Beast Gate. How can it be without us? Every word falls, there is one less person in the border. After a while, everyone leaves the border. Bang! With a fierce sound, the fight really began. Cloud Wave is brandishing the black flame big knife, and the dragon inclines evil to deal with the official calendar together. Shengguanli is also worthy of being the deputy leader of the beast sect. She can deal with both of them at the same time, which makes Yunwu realize that although it is important to find the four elements, her strength still needs to be improved and strengthened. Nangong Yi, Shengguan and others are dealing with the people of Fenghuang and other 10,000 beasts. The impact of the fierce force is constantly whistling, and the residual leaves are rolling and blazing. In the distance, the ghost of Shengguan calendar suddenly came. Long Qingxia's golden eyes narrowed and his épée was horizontal. He separated Shengguanli from Yunwu. He was lazy but dangerous and said, "It seems that you don't mean that." Just that blow, his target is not the potato sleeping behind Yunwu, but Yunwu. Shengguan's eyes sank. He had just collided with épée. His fingers were almost broken. His strength was completely opposite to him. He must not be hard on him. Cloud Dance turned around and looked back, showing a smile and said, "Deputy Lord, your goal is it?" She took out an object wrapped in a border from the space. In the eyes of outsiders, they saw a border, but in Shengguanli's eyes, he saw a map of the temple. Shengguanli stretched out a hand as strange as white bone, and his voice was cold, "Give it to me." Cloud Dance sneers, "You say to give, that I am not very no-face. Then don't blame me for being rude." Shengguanli moans and roars, and the sense of killing fills the air in an instant. The dark air rolls in and comes to Yunwu and Longqingxi. Well, Cloud Dance made a stop gesture and sneered, "It's not too late to start after listening to me. If you want it, I want to die. You can take what you need and not make mistakes with each other, okay?" Smell speech, Shengguanli all around of kill meaning dim sum, ponder Cloud Dance just words. Intuition tells him that this woman is cold and ruthless, but now she is so cunning and clever. She can't believe a point, but he wants to hit the half point. "Give it to me, and I'll let you go." Cloud Dance's tiny jaw head, the corner of the mouth is dyed with a smile that has no intention of killing, that just gives you. With a wave of her hand, a touch of dark air, like hot smoke, directly split the surface of the earth. With a rumbling sound, a steep cliff with a width of several meters suddenly appeared. The next second, the thing wrapped by the border flies in the air and falls into the cliff at the speed of light. Shengguanli's eyes were angry. He looked at the map of the temple that fell into the cliff and followed it down to enter the cliff. Right now. Cloud Dance watched Shengguanli enter the cliff and yelled at the dragon. Long Qingxia nodded slightly, his body soared up, his golden eyes narrowed slightly, and the black haze around his body invaded most of the sky. With a wave of Cloud Dance's hand, the top layer of the cliff is sealed with a barrier, followed by black haze, which covers the barrier and provides a full protective layer for the barrier. It won't be long before the border is formed. Leave now. She yelled at the men who were fighting. This sentence is also meant for Shengguan, so as not to worry about his father's misfortune. Xiao Wu, you can't seal up the border. She thinks too much without Sheng Guanli's pursuit. The people of Wanwoman and Feng Huang were also tossed by them. After a while, they escaped. Take a rest. It should be safe for the time being. Situ Lanwei said with breath. It's embarrassing to be in such a mess. Meng Bai looked at the dirty robe, and he couldn't bear to look directly at it. Cloud Dance slightly droops his eyes. There are too many things happen before and after. Originally, he intended to hide his identity and look for the heart of the wind, but he caused a riot. He was regarded as a priest and met the dark beast. The next thing was out of control. Just like now, meeting Sheng Guanli is unexpected for all of them. Just now I had a fight with the people of the Beast Gate. My physical strength has been impacted. I haven't cultivated myself yet. Then I was chased by Sheng Guanli and the Phoenix clan. Now everyone is very tired, right? Everyone's face was a little abnormal, and she was short of breath. Although Long Qingxie had been hiding the disordered breath, she knew that she couldn't tolerate him to deal with Sheng Guanli. She didn't have to do her best, even the usual evil spirit was omitted, and she was obviously tired. Find a place to recover first. Yunwu suddenly spoke. Long Qingxie nodded and looked around. His golden eyes were fixed on the mountain in the distance, thinking deeply. Cloud Dance looked at the mountain, slightly jaw-head. That's a good place. Unknowingly, she has come to the mountain. Under the mountain is the stone chamber. Although the boundary has been broken by her, the stone chamber is still there. You can go in as long as you use the earth elements. Everyone agreed that the group of people were flying in the direction of the mountain stone room. Just before arriving at the mountain, Sheng Guanli suddenly appeared like a ghost and stood in front of several people. His eyes were cold, and he looked at Yunwu. He wanted to kill her immediately. Hand it in. He spoke almost word for word in a fierce voice. Deputy Lord, you've gone after things. Why do you want them from me? Cloud Dance slightly raises Lu Mei, the corner of the mouth raises a smile of disdain. Smelling speech, Sheng Guanli's face was dark, and his white bone-like fingers were particularly gloomy in the dark, making a clear clucking sound. Shengguan, I'll say it one last time, back to the Beast Gate. Sheng Guanli suddenly looks up at Shengguan. Yunwu sees the scarlet of Su Sha under his eyes. Do you really want to start? Well, when that happened, she gambled with him. This game, she bet herself to win. Die this heart, I will not be your puppet. Shengguan said coldly. You are the young master of the beast sect, not a puppet. As far as I'm concerned, it has something to do with the Beast Gate. The little master is the same as the puppet. Then go to life and death with your so-called friends. Shengguan has a gloomy roar. Fortunately, he has profound skills. Otherwise, he has to vomit blood. Just as Yunwu was about to attack, the look of her eyes suddenly changed, and she was filled with surprise. Looking back at the dragon, she said, It's broken. Maybe it's a good thing. Long Qingxie's golden eyes pass by with a smile and a cloud-dancing willow waist. Nangong Yiqi looks at each other in the night. Meng Bai, Shengguan and Situ Lan look slightly changed. The next second, they suddenly disappear in the void. In front of a dark-filled, close to each other cannot see. Where is this? Cloud Dance micro frown. This endless darkness is how to return a responsibility, just that strong suction is how to return a responsibility. I don't know, but it's the same everywhere I go to be with you. Long Qingxie kisses Yunwu on the cheek, and his face is full of happiness. In the dark, the shining star eyes gave him a white look, so black, thanks to the accuracy he could find. The two of you are so tired here, you'd better think about what to do next. Shangguan couldn't help complaining to interrupt them. It's a good attitude to be happy in pain, but it's ambiguous when life is in danger, that is, to die slowly. The gloomy taste is really in line with what you are doing now, the romantic death. Situ Lan couldn't help mending the sword. Yunwu purses her lips slightly. It's time for these single dogs to get rid of their orders, or they will be so sick and angry all day long. All of a sudden, she felt that her eyes were heavy, and she seemed to feel sleepy. In the haze, she felt that the palm around her waist was slightly loose, and then it was tight, loose and tight. Wherever I go, I will find you. Hazy, her ears sounded a magnetic sound of peace of mind. She knew that it was Dragon Qing Xie. Someone came in. It's something that hasn't happened in 1,000 years. The residual forces here are isolated from the outside world. It's wonderful that someone can come in. 1 second before the coma, she seemed to hear a few faint sounds, which were as weak as illusions. With the rapid decline of her body, she felt more and more powerful forces filling her nerves, which made her want to have a rest. Finally, she fell into a coma. On the mountain, Shangguanli watched a few people disappear without a trace. After a long silence, he finally said, "We can solve the problem of Phoenix. The underground space is quiet and the air is a little thin." Hiss. In the dead space, a strange voice sounded. A 2-meter-long snake with a thick leg is slowly approaching the purple figure. Its thin tongue pierces the air and makes a hissing roar. The giant snake kept crawling towards the figure, and its crystal green eyes looked at the clouds, as if seeing the most delicious meal in the world. The people on the ground breathed evenly and looked calm. They didn't seem to be hurt or in a coma, but they still didn't wake up. Giant snake climbs to Yunwu and looks at Yunwu's sleepy face. Suddenly, her green eyes emit strange light, and her slender color is like blood. She makes a circle on her face. The fingers of the people on the ground seem to move. Looking at her still not awake, the giant snake suddenly raised its head and inspected her up and down. The next second, the fangs opened and bit her shoulder. Hiss. The giant snake roared, but it was not the pleasure of eating delicious food, but the roar of pain. "It's too small to swallow me." Yunwu grabs the head of the giant snake and doesn't let go. The more the giant snake shakes and struggles, the stronger she is. At last, the giant snake can only keep still, staring at a pair of eyes like emeralds. "Your physique is not enough for Hongling to fill your teeth." Yunwu twisted the snake's head and let it roll several times. After careful inspection, it was finally confirmed. All of a sudden, her eyes narrowed, suddenly thought of something, and quickly stretched out another hand to wipe the mucus on her face. How much nausea did she endure just now before she killed it? Hiss. The giant snake roared again, but it was a very painful roar. Cloud Dance looked at the huge snake's head that she pinched flat, and there was no sympathy in her eyes. "Does it hurt? Just when you wanted to eat me, why didn't you feel so miserable?" The giant snake rolled a white eye. "How could it be painful to eat it? It was quite fast." Hiss, hiss. Without waiting for it to come up with a piece of music, Yunwu seemed to know what it was thinking. The strength of the hand deepened again, and the pain made it scream. "It's a punishment for you to eat me, understand?" Cloud Dance looked at the giant snake's left and right deviation of the mouth, the corners of the mouth quietly stained with a smile. Then she looked around and found that there was no one around except herself. All around are smooth stone walls, emitting a cool luster. The area is not big, only a room so big, but let her feel very strange. What's more strange is that her power was suppressed by some element in the cave, and it can't be used safely. Her starry eyes were dark, thinking. What about the dragon? What about Nanganji? All of a sudden, her phoenix eyes narrowed, and she remembered the scene of falling, the coma feeling when falling, and the voices that didn't belong to them, which were definitely not hallucinations. What is this place? Where did some of them fall? Who is so arrogant that he bullies Wang's pet? The sound comes first before the person arrives. As the sound falls, Yunwoo feels a tingling pain on her hand. At the moment when her fingers are slightly loose, the giant snake has moved back several feet, completely out of her control. My king. Pets. Yunwoo looks at the giant snake on the opposite side. The snake's skin is pockmarked. It feels goosebumps all over. It looks sharp, like a mole. It has fierce eyes and is extremely arrogant. She came to the conclusion that people who can use it as a pet are also quite abnormal. Suddenly, in the middle of the sky, a luminous transparent body appeared. The man's long hair is elegant, his sword eyebrows are starry, his silver robe is natural and unrestrained, his smile is like the wind, his words are gentle and elegant, but his breath is very dangerous. After another look at her, he looks at the giant snake. Little, have you heard anything? Cough. Yunwoo clears her throat out of time. Xiaoyao, she has to admire her name, which is cute enough and quite in line with the pet's name. It's a pity that she is not as famous as she is when she meets the man looked at Yunwoo, with a trace of inviolable aggressiveness in his eyes. After looking at her for a long time, he said, Who are you? Who are you? Yunwoo asked, When you're not sure where you are, it's better not to report yourself. If you encounter racial discrimination and hatred again, it will be miserable. Now her internal breathing is unstable, her strength is completely suppressed, and she can't use her mouth as much as possible. Do you look like a man to me? The man Mao's son is the same, transparent luminescent body, apparent had a silk to be intense. It's not like that. She answered truthfully. He really doesn't look human. You say I'm not human. The man suddenly narrowed his eyes, revealing a touch of danger in his eyes. What should she say? See Cloud Dance don't answer, the man's expression abrupt change, instant and change of pleasure up, I was not a person. She was completely defeated. You just nearly killed my pet. What's the crime? The man is lazy and has a dangerous breath. Then you should discipline it well, and the delicious things will not be like that. It turned out that she cared more about the slime on her face than she almost ate her, do you hear me? I'll talk about hygiene in the future. Cloud Dance black face, he is saying that she is not hygienic. Silence after a long time. Where is this? Cloud Dance looks at the cave, eyes stay in a place full of light, quiet open way. I don't know how recently. It seems that I have a special affinity with the stone cave. Do you know what will happen if you enter the battlefield thousands of years ago by mistake? The man looked at the Cloud Dance, and the look of his eyes was strange. Millennium Battlefield. The cloud dances and murmurs to itself. Suddenly, she suddenly raised her eyes. Is this the battlefield of the Phoenix people thousands of years ago? If so, why not see the slightest trace of fighting, on the contrary is very calm. After thinking about it, she will stay in the light, which is a border gate. If she goes out, will she see the earth-shaking scene? Well, I don't want to talk nonsense with you either. You have two ways, where you come from and where you go back. Or you can stay here forever and choose for yourself. The man lazily closed his eyes and lay on the giant snake, just like an immortal. A few seconds later, Yunwoo didn't answer. Finally, the man couldn't help looking up at her. He looked at her staring at the border gate and sneered, walking out of that gate is the third way, but I advise you to just ignore it. Why? Yunwoo looks at his eyebrows. The man looked up and down at Yunwoo and said with a smile, after you go out, your value will be used. Your beauty is good, your skill is good, your meat is tender enough, and your blood is pure enough. Cloud Dance Mao light tiny cold, sneer away, mean from inside to outside, corpse bone have no save by. The man nodded teachably. Then I choose the fourth way. The cloud dances, the corner of the mouth raises the cool radiant. For road, out of the border, get the heart of wind, leave smoothly. Tut tut. The man looked at the cloud dance, slightly shook his head, is really a newborn calf is not afraid of tigers. Cloud Dance a smile did not add any emotion, before I leave, can you tell me? And I fell with the whereabouts of people. Are you sure you want the fourth way? The man looked at Yunwoo suspiciously and saw that she didn't mean to be joking. He sat up and began to look at her formally. I won't bother you with that. Cloud dance in different way. She clearly felt that there was another world outside the border. As long as she walked out of the border, her accomplishments could be restored, which was why she had to choose the fourth way. This man is warm and lazy on the surface, but he is cunning in his words and smiles. Facing such a person, it's really dangerous to have no accomplishments. She could almost be sure that if she had not some use value, she would have been killed by him. Man pupil Mao micro turn, transparent figure seems more hazy some, as if plated with a layer of gauze. Your friend should not be able to resist it now. He has been badly repaired. Since you insist on the fourth one, I can only do what you want. Shit. Yunwoo cursed coldly, turned and walked towards the border. Give you something that can save your life at a critical moment. With a wave of the man's virtual shadow, a straight thing came dancing towards the clouds. The speed was out of reach, because there was no cultivation. She couldn't avoid it at all. She saw that the shadow was getting closer and closer. Suddenly, the shadow stopped in front of her eyes, and the clouds came back. Then she found that the giant snake was flying in the air. Is this the gift that can save lives? Whether or not, seeing it, she was not in a good mood. No more words, she turned and walked out of the border, followed by a very powerful, arrogant and tugging giant snake. The man looked at the cloud dance and left. Thinking deeply, he looked up at the stone wall above. The stone wall there was different from other places. It was more prominent and more glorious. That's where she came in. In this space, only the summoner can come in. He has been waiting for thousands of years, and when the dust is gone, he has finally waited for a summoner. Will heaven not kill him? Looking at his more transparent body, he raised a gloomy smile at the corner of his mouth. When she cleaned up the old things in the battlefield, he could leave. Leave through her body. At the moment when Yunwoo walked out of the Jie gate, a strong light was shining outside the Jie gate, and a clear light came into her eyes, which forced her to close her eyes. After a long time, she adapted to the strong, slowly opened her eyes. At the moment when she opened her eyes, the look of her eyes changed from hazy to complicated, then she was surprised, and finally she was completely stunned. In front of my eyes, there was a vast expanse of snow-white space, like a desert. On the snow stood stone tablets, behind which were coffins. The whole huge space is endless with stone tablets and coffins. At first glance, it looks like a cemetery. An extremely luxurious cemetery with artistic conception. Yunwoo looked around carefully, and didn't find their figure. The man just said. She frowned slightly, and a helpless smile rose from the corner of her mouth. She also believed in lies that Guy is just a ghost body, and it is a ghost about to die. If there is no accident, they should not meet. But only if there's no accident. Looking back at the proud snake behind her, she frowned. She always felt that something was wrong, but she could not tell what was wrong. All of a sudden, she found that the pressure in the space was gone. She tried to use the force and found that the cultivation had come back. Looking at the Jie gate, her eyes were dark. It was really strange in the cave. Suddenly, a strange wind passed by my ear, my eyes lifted, and my body jumped sideways, but it was still a step late. Jade-like earlobe blood drop by drop, a blade-like scratch appeared, but also just cut a layer of skin. Cloud Dance touched the earlobe, looked at the bloody fingers, the eye ground was set off a touch of scarlet. Just that blow, if you want her life, now this cemetery already has a place for her. What should the epitaph say, so and so to visit here? She looked at a ghost sitting on the coffin in the distance and sneered. Just such a little girl, I have to bother myself to do it. I'm overqualified. I didn't tell you not to hurt this beauty. I haven't seen a woman for thousands of years. I met such a beautiful woman for the first time. Don't do it. I'll greet her myself. People and ghosts are different ways. I'll go to hell with you. In my opinion, none of you is her opponent. With the wind hurt her ears, the snow coffin, a touch of ghost appeared one after another. Finally she counted, the whole 10 wiped ghost. Looking at the coffins where the spirits are sitting, there are their introductions on the stone tablets. The tombs of the left-wing general, the right-wing general, the little master of the orcs, the demon king of the sacred beast family, the boo operator on the right, and the lingshire on the left. All the people who appear are from the phoenix family and the dark beast family. Cloud Dance's eyes flashed a trace of horror, including the king of Warcraft. In the Millennium War, the dark beast family is really left with only one dark beast. Little girl, how can you break into here? The right-wing general of the Phoenix nationality looks at the Cloud Dance and feels his beard. Between words, he seems to have less intention to kill her. I've come here by accident. Please bear with me if I offend you. Yunwu bowed her head slightly. In front of these immortal elders, she should take out some posture of the younger generation. Who broke in by accident? I think it's for the holy things, too. The left-wing general looked at Yunwu, and his sharp eyes with a trace of insight directly expressed Yunwu's inner thoughts. The cloud dances slightly to hang of Mao's sun to pass a silk to smile, then lift Mao, cool way, everybody 1,000 years don't die, just for protection and contend for. She was guessing, trying to see if she was right. When this remark came out, everyone looked at her strangely. Thousands of years ago, in order to fight for the heart of the wind, the Dark Clan colluded with the Phoenix Clan to betray the Phoenix Clan, resulting in a millennium catastrophe. Few survived, and all the rest died here except them. And they only have a wisp of ghost to fight for thousands of years. In order to protect the heart of the wind, and in order to fight for it, no one is willing to put it down and die in peace. I see, though this woman is beautiful, she is dead. Just now, the man with frivolous words, after hearing Yunwu's words, suddenly changed his initial attitude, and looked at her eyes, some fierce. Yunwu knows. She guessed right. Choose a good place for yourself. You can choose any place with such a large space. Hurry up, or I'll kill you. Yunwu sneers. Although these ghosts are not as good as they were 1,000 years ago, their strength can't be underestimated. If she wants to make a noise, it's better not to do it. The most urgent thing is to find them. Before I die, where is my friend? Cloud Dance cold eyes frown, hope to wait until a satisfactory answer. The silent demon suddenly laughed and pointed to the front position. Do you see the 6 coffins? They're in there. Smell speech, Cloud Dance, I bottom turbulent undercurrent emerge, kill meaning suddenly increase, snow covered without a trace of cold, this moment let all ghost feel a chill. Of course, it's impossible for everyone to pay attention to her. Don't be so murderous. They are still a short way from death. But now we need to prepare a coffin. It's time-consuming. The Demon King looked at the right-wing general and said, You guys, let out your coffin and let her live. His grandmother, you want me to die out of place. Why don't you get your old bones out and see if they swish? The Sacred Beast family has donated 6 coffins. Do you still want to think about your own coffin? Cloud Dance can't hear the words behind. Looking at the neat 6 coffins in the distance, her forehead is slightly wrinkled. How dare there are 2 people living in this coffin? There is a picture in her mind, a big living person holding a rotten skeleton. The scene is the limit she can bear. Several people continue to quarrel, Cloud Dance while they don't pay attention, invisible and go, instantly arrive in front of 6 coffins. Bang! Pa! A few crisp sounds interrupted the quarrel of several people, and the ghost looked back at her side. When he saw the coffin lid being hit, his face changed completely. Who? A whiff of wind. The huge fuzzy phoenix shape, Ling Sua hit her in the air. The power of the evil bite attacks the fist. With a gravity fist, the form of the ghost is instantly shot away. It hides in the air for 3 times, almost vanishing. Still a strong man. The left-wing general's eyes were dim and his tone was uneven. He regained his human form, and the vague ghost form seemed to be about to merge with the snow. If it wasn't for the black eyes and black beard, it would have been completely transparent. The cloud dances, the lips are slightly raised, showing a clear smile. It turns out that if the ghost is really hit, its own strength will be seriously lost. When the power is almost gone, it is almost time to go to the dust. She no longer looked at him. She looked down at several people in the coffin. At that moment, deep surprise and distortion flashed through her sharp eyes. There was a skeleton shelf on each arm, and a slight smile on the corner of his mouth. At first glance, the smile was a little sweet enough love, enough ambiguity looking at Nanganji and praying for the night, her lips are slightly raised. Looking at Shengguan, Situlan and Mengbai, her eyes are smiling. When her eyes touch Longqingxi, her eyes suddenly change and instantly cool down. On the other side, the heavy objects came unstoppable. With a wave of the sleeves of her purple robe, the wind of her empty hand hit back and threw it down suddenly. Bang! With a loud noise, the coffin turned into powder. The people in the coffin are still quiet. Cloud Dance's eyes are cold, clearly breathing evenly, full of breath. She woke up. How can they not wake up? Powerful Wuzong, with the dark power of evil bite, I'm surprised. Are you a demon? The left-wing general was slightly shocked when he looked at the magic power used by Yunwu. It was enough to destroy everything in the world. Fortunately, she did not fully awaken that power. Cloud Dance Lien Mao, is there any relationship? It's all death. Then why nonsense? It's more interesting to kill people by chatting. Your good power is enough for us to live for hundreds of years and chat with you as a gift. The right-wing general played with the sword in his hands and said nothing shameless. As a gift of thanks, it's high-sounding. Can she refuse it? Well. Lying on the coffin, Long Qingxie had a little movement. His well-defined fingers unconsciously touched the cold bones, but suddenly got up the next second. Looking at the broken bones, the dragon's evil golden eyes narrowed slightly, and the dark breath of the palm condensed. With a little effort, the bone foam flew, and the bones became foam in an instant. Now I found out that you're okay. Cloud Dance Cold Hum A, looking at the Long Qing evil gloomy face, can't help but tease. Who did it? Long Qingxie glanced at the others, his eyes were dark. It's me. The left-wing general spoke. Bang! As soon as the words fell, the dull sound spread. Half of the soul of the left-wing general had been left on the coffin. The speed and strange cloud dance of that moment were not captured. As if nothing had happened, the evil spirit looked at the cloud with a deep smile. Little thing, there are so many coffins here. I'm afraid it's not enough to choose a few more. Cloud Dance frowns, this guy is going to solve them. Speak wild. The Demon King gave a big drink, and two strange smells like vines came, stabbing at the dragon. The palm of dragon's hand turned instantly, and the wind element lifted up, just like the crazy confrontation of the dragon. When the two meet, the splash disappears. Looking at this scene, the left-wing general bearded face slightly changed, to the experts. I want to see who prepared the coffin for whom. Cloud Dance a smile, the heart read a move, originally want to call out small stink and red ling they, the result discovers the heart read unexpectedly can't convey. What's going on? After 2 attempts, they both failed. Consciousness returned to Chaos Hall and tried to communicate with Hayo. The result was the same, and Hayo couldn't get in touch. This ancient battlefield has 2 strong ownerless spirit power. It is because of these residual spirit power that she has no way to summon forces other than herself. The other side was a strong member of the family in ancient times. In fact, any one of them was in Wuzong. However, she had never broken through, and her strength was always at the top of Wuzong. Looking at the killing intention around the ghost, Yunwu knows that things can't be solved easily. They protect the heart of the wind for thousands of years. How can they spare them who want to take the heart of the wind? In that case, don't think about it. Fight. Nangong Yi and Chia wake up, but Shengguan, Situ Lan and Mengbai are still lying. With the help of the black flame sword, Yunwu glances at the Shengguan, Situ Lan and Mengbai, who are still lying on the coffin. Their eyes are narrowed, and a strong and zizi power is waved away in the air. Do you want to sleep for the rest of your life? With the power approaching, several people suddenly open their eyes, a staggering rotation, to avoid a blow. Pa! The coffin finally froth. Xiao Wu, it's too hard. Rest in peace for the dead. Little girl, take it. A rampant voice reverberated from the sky, Cloud Dance raised eyes, a touch of virtual shadow hit, the speed is fast. The cloud wave wields the big knife to soar to the cloud, the long strong wind flutters disorderly, the black flame big knife sounds from the wind, whines unceasingly. The snow moving with the wind around her condensed into ice crystals all over the sky in her abrupt mood, and surrounded her with the wind. The shadow on the opposite side, just like the formation of snow, combined into one hidden and one present, all roaring with the strong wind. Two figures suddenly close, one as cold as snow, one as arrogant and strange. And on the snow, the dragon fell evil, and they also began to fight. The sword is flying, the light of the sword is shining, and the snow is shining. It looks like the blood plum blooming in the cold winter. Ah! A roar of pain through my heart became a trumpet to stop fighting. Purple figure steeply in the air, standing alone, the virtual shadow on the opposite side more hazy, seems to have no trace to find. She won. And no one, except Bearded himself, found out how she won. You. Bearded looked at the cloud dance, eyes difficult, a word lang is squeezed in the teeth, unable to say, you. Don't worry, speak slowly. Cloud Dance looked at Big Beard, very patient persuasion. Bearded's face changed slightly, and the empty figure disappeared completely in the snow. You are. The voice before and what he said in the second half of the passage disappeared with him. At the moment when the big beard disappeared, Yunwu looked at the distant direction with cold eyes. A thing like an eye is inlaid on the wall of the peripheral stone cave. There are deep scars all around the wall. The eyes exude crystal luster, which coincides with the snow light and is not easy to be found. Intuition told her that it was the heart of the wind. But is the heart of the wind really in front of her? Purple figures such as ghosts swept away, behind again came more fierce fighting. If you dare to move, you will never be left. The right-wing general screams anxiously, but it's hard to get rid of Kainan Mai's entanglement. That belongs to this seat. The devil roared, but he couldn't get rid of the dragon. The cloud dances Yang to smile but go, looking at that crystal bright as the eye bead of thing, astringent Mao, palm empty a pinch, that thing instant loose, finally completely controlled by her. When she felt something wrong in her heart, the surrounding ground collapsed and the snow-covered ground tore apart, which was irresistible like an earthquake. At the foot of an empty, the body such as falling, in front of the moment is as dark as hell. Little thing. Little five. Little dance. A few distant shouts and worries reverberated in the cracks, completely covered up in the endless darkness. Is she going to die? Looking at the hands of the crystal light-emitting body, the corner of the mouth floating a touch of radiant, some ridicule, some helpless. Is this the heart of the wind on the other side of the cave? The man watched Yunwu fall into the endless darkness, his warm smile was a little stiff, and his eyes were wandering with black light. You must not die. You can't die. His eyes were as scarlet as blood drops, and he almost gnashed his teeth and said it word by word. Black wind constantly stirred the skirt, 3,000 green silk all scattered, ear-whistling wind constantly pulled open just cut earlobe. Blood flow along the track of the wind, spots appear in her sky, each seems to emit a strange light. Endless fall, she is particularly conscious, has a strength but cannot display, as if trapped by something. Looking back, where is the spacious space? What is the golden cuboid in the center of the space? The sight keeps getting closer to the golden object, and the two are getting closer and closer. It's a coffin, bang. With a loud noise, the coffin opened and the figure suddenly disappeared into the darkness. Squeak. The coffin was restored to its original appearance, and a quiet needle fell down in the whole space. Endless dark cracks are approaching, and finally completely coincide. Up and down 2 places, restore the original. It seems that just all that is an illusion. On the snow, everyone looked at the scene that could not be saved, and was stunned. Everything happened in the twinkling of an eye. Was too fast. It was only a step before the dragon poured out evil to help each other. Cracks disappear, snow quickly covered, what traces have disappeared, everything has recovered, only the clouds. Only she disappeared. Button button. Bang bang. Quang quang quang. In the dead and dark space, abrupt sounds are heard one after another. The sound is getting louder and louder, the rhythm is faster and faster, disorderly and irritable. The sound came from the golden coffin. Where the hell is it? A quick voice with a little doubt came, replacing the sound of the fist-board collision. In the narrow space, Yunwoo sits cross-legged, with the sky above his head, the bottom on the ground, the back against the wall, and the line of sight half a meter in front. You can imagine what a small space it is. She recalled what happened at that moment, and suddenly her eyes were shocked. If it's good, she fell straight into the coffin that she opened. So here Cloud Dance malcolor a change, intuitive want to stand up. Bang! A touch to the ground, a burst of blood from the head of the pain, let her calm. Reach out to push the top cover, 1 part of the force didn't respond, 3 parts didn't respond, 7 parts still didn't respond. She gathered all her strength into her fist, and suddenly waved it. In the coffin, the sound of the impact of strength was loud and huge, which directly made her head rise and her ears hum. But there was no sign of the coffin opening. Collect Mao tiny am I, the cold on between Mao flits by, she was locked dead inside. How can anyone stir up the abnormality of the heart of the wind? No, 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 it's because she took the heart of the wind that such an accident happened. It's not right. No one can use the heart of wind to cause accidents. Still not right. Hoarse voice, reverberating in the dead space, like the dust covered for many years, sometimes clear, sometimes tangled, it seems very contradictory. Who? Cloud Dance slightly wrinkled willow eyebrows. This voice sounds full of vicissitudes, the owner of the voice should have reached an old age. Well, what's the matter? The hoarse and tangled voice kept murmuring to himself. When he heard the Cloud Dance, he suddenly stopped talking to himself, and the whole space fell into silence again. Are you still there, old man? Cloud Dance asked tentatively. What do you mean, old man? His hoarse voice was tinged with anger, and he burst out, I'm the 5th son of the Song dynasty who is loved by everyone. You call me old man? Cloud Dance silent down, after a long time to speak, it is 5 child, listen to the title, think must be a Piampian child. You. But it sounds like an old man. 5 child smile, look happy, half said, suddenly hit by the second half of the Cloud Dance, just pull the smile into anger, change big, look a little twisted funny. Cloud Dance didn't bother to guess whether he was happy or angry at the moment. He glanced at the narrow closed space and said indifferently, did you lock me in? Well, I don't have that spare time. 5 child sneers at nose. Cloud Dance droops eyes, looking at the things in hand, listening to what he just said, this is the heart of the wind. So it's because she won the heart of the wind that she caused turbulence and fell? This ancient battlefield is underground. There is still space under it. There are so many strange and unpredictable places. What is this geomantic treasure land? Please let me out. Cloud Dance light mouth way. Out? 5 child seem to hear what Arabian Nights seem, eyes stare round big, into the tomb goo also want to go out, you won't brain broken. Tomb bug? What's that thing? Because of the space problem, she can't open the dragon tornado, so she really doesn't know what it is. You mean you can't get out? Of course there are ways. 5-child's voice became a little strange and unpredictable, like calculating something, but you have to promise me a condition, I'll tell you how to get out. As long as I don't want what I have, I'll promise everything else. 5-child staring at the coffin muttered something. Cloud Dance also didn't hear clearly, probably meaning she can guess out, if not wrong, his condition is to give the heart of wind to him. One thing 3 twists and turns, finally got this thing, let her hand it out, is it possible? The 5th child was silent for a while and said, I haven't thought about the conditions yet. I'll think about it first. I'll tell you when you come out. Deal. She happily agreed. If she was locked in the coffin, she could promise him anything, then there was nothing that could not be promised when she got out of the coffin. The way is very simple, one life for another. Hoarse voice with a trace of pride and urgency, seems to but next thing, full of interest. One life for another. Trade your lover's life for your life, one life for another. I can take it as if you didn't say the conditional deal was cancelled. Are you playing with me? As soon as the voice of Mr. 5 sank, the whole space trembled. He said everything. Can he take back what he said? This shameless woman. Love how to think is your freedom, your way I don't need, so say, and don't say to me are the same. Cloud Dance indifferent response, looking at the dark coffin, want to find out what flaws. If you don't use this method, you can only stay in it all your life. Well, it's cost-effective to have a ready-made coffin and save your coffin book. Why don't I like to hear you so much? After you go out, sew your mouth on him. Tomb sorcery is a mirage. In ancient times, if your ability is not superior to that of a sorcerer, or if you don't have the ability of a sorcerer, you can only open it in the way I said. The 5th child continued, one of the people above is your lover, right? Tell me which one. I'll get him for you. What's love? What's love when you're dead? Thank you for your kindness. Just for your words, I will repay you after going out. Cloud Dance's voice is as plain as water, without waves. But a cold smile can't be seen in the corner of his mouth. Of course, the 5th child didn't see it. He still talked about the topic of seeking death. You're welcome. I want you to promise me a condition. Smell speech, Cloud Dance cold hum, her smile not smile eyes color dim, dark space temperature seems to suddenly cold a few minutes, she must remember, there is a condition between them. Just now, he said that the illusion in the coffin was made by the ancient mage. Since he is a mage, Nangong Yi is a suitable candidate. I don't know if he is an opponent of the ancient mage with his current ability. But how can she pass on her present predicament? She drooped her eyes slightly, and the gloom in her eyes flashed by. Little thing, do you want to be my husband? Cloud Dance is surprised, is the dragon poor evil voice. Suddenly lift eyes, the dark coffin suddenly becomes bright, the sky is no longer a hard coffin cover, but like a fairyland of silver, like fantasy, like a dream, it is addictive. What are you doing here? Cloud Dance looks at the dragon in the sky, still smiling, still languid, with a warm smile on the corner of her mouth. To accompany you, of course. With a smile, the dragon falls to Yunwu. Cloud Dance looks at him, eyes die a trace of soft, there is no way to contact Nangong Yi, this coffin in addition to he estimates very difficult to open. Leave him alone. Long Qingxie sat down beside her, looking at the illusory sky, thin lips slightly hook, then stretched out his right palm toward her, for my husband to take you away. Yunwu hesitated for half a second, then pulled the corner of his mouth with a smile, handed his left hand to him, okay. At the moment of the cross of the 10 fingers, Yunwu's left hand turned back and grabbed the dragon's neck directly. The gentle smile on the corner of his mouth turned into cold, and the warmth was gradually condensed, leaving no temperature. Who are you? Dragon poor evil, evil wanton smile, little thing, women should be gentle some just lovely. Cloud danced tiny Zheng, the strength on the hand loosened half sent, he is your illusion. If you kill him, you will walk out of the fairyland and out of the coffin. But if you want this free coffin, you can live with him. The fairyland environment is better than the coffin. A tiny bit of as like as two peas, the evil spirits, the charming smiles and the charming eyes of the dragon are all alike with the dragon's evil. If he is not so shameless, she can't find the dragon's evil. Is it really that simple? Yunwu has some doubts about the words of the fifth young master. It's that simple, but... Five-child voice deliberately treacherous meal, kill him, your beloved man will die, unfortunately a pity. When Yen, pinching the dragon Qing Xia, neck fingers, and loose a few points, has almost opened his neck. Mu Gu is an old pervert who is frustrated in love. That old guy likes to watch people in love fight each other. He died and imprisoned me here. The reason is to let me watch every process of love and killing for him. Is this old guy perverted enough? It's not safe to die. Yes, you are not a good thing either. Cloud dance cold reprimand, see this scene, his inner excitement is not worse than the old pervert. Otherwise, how could the old pervert choose him? Five-child is not talking, quietly waiting for the result, is to kill him or be killed, more and more looking forward to. Little things, go with my husband and live a life that belongs to our carefree life. Hallucination as like as two peas, the right hand of the right hand extends to her again, and the bones are clearly the same as the dragon. Looking at the familiar and warm palm, she saw a little struggle under her eyes. Her fingers hanging on the side of the purple robe moved slightly. Killing the illusion is equal to killing the dragon, and not killing is equal to killing herself. To be exact, if she doesn't kill him, she will also be killed by him and by the dragon. This result, is he, cannot bear. The slender fingers are slightly clenched, there must be a way out. She dances in the clouds and never takes the road given to her by others. The road she wants to take is her own development. Would you like to go with my husband? Illusion dragon Qing evil figure is not as clear as just now, some hazy, looks like it is about to disappear. She understood that either he would take her with him or she would kill him and disappear. As long as she says no, he will. Well, let's see who is better in her strength and his strength. If today she entangles him to disappear, safely through a section, then from now on, she is up, he is down, no matter walking, standing, lying, must be so. The black flame big knife suddenly appeared, the purple pupil eyes of the wave seemed to be dripping out, and the faint smile of the indifferent lips coagulated on a layer of frost. Long Qingxie, this is the first battle to determine the family status. Dragon Qing Xia looks at the cloud dance with a smile, the figure is illusory, and the épée sweeps out. The fierceness of dagger and épée are just like the two people who hold each other, but they are very similar. Yunwu raised the black flame sword, whistling to the opposite phantom, the opposite épée to resist, a fire ZZ power spark splashed out, suddenly broke through the coffin, the dark space was bright. Those who watch the crowd outside are not afraid of big things. Oh. It's a real fight. Inside the coffin, a blow down, black flame dagger humming. Yunwu's finger bones were so painful that he almost lost consciousness. He held the black flame sword hard and didn't throw it away. And, Dragon Qing Xia, is still languidly playing with épée, thin lips open smiles so tender, but let Cloud Dance feel so strange. Cloud Dance gathers eyes to ponder, he is evil body, owns strength originally cannot estimate, meets strong then strong, confronts with him, she really does not have the complete victory assurance. If we go on like this, we can only lose both sides. Let's find some excuse to delay. Suddenly, there was a ray of light in her drooping eyes. She raised her eyes and looked at Dragon Qing Xia, showing a gentle smile, I promise to go with you. Dragon Poor Evil evokes the evil spirit's smile, Choyanwu reaches out his palm, and a trace of ruthless indifference passes through his golden eyes, which makes Yunwu more unfamiliar to him. Purple pupil eyes looking at Dragon Qing Xia, strange luster, like the emergence of a layer of gauze, she looked at him, eyes indifferent and soft. Go back on your own and wait for me to find you. The cold voice, like a spring, stirs people's hearts, as if it has magic, which makes people listen to it wholeheartedly. It's mind control. 5 child murmur of voice reverberate in the space. She actually know how to use Imperial Mind skill, interesting. Dragon Qingxie looks at Yunwu in a dazed way. His face is a little confused in his golden eyes. His stiff jaw is about to turn around and leave. Suddenly, his figure stagnates and his long sleeves wave, and he flies Yunwu directly to the coffin wall. Cough. Yunwu props up, wipes off the blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, and presents a cold smile. It seems that mind control is still effective in dealing with hallucinations. Unfortunately, mind control has been staying at the 8th level without breakthrough. If it can reach the 9th level, it will be okay. Looking at the danger coming from the opposite side of the Dragon Qingxie. Cloud Dance stood up, eyes swept a trace of worry, what to deal with the powerful fantasy. 5th young master, is there any other way to solve it? She was holding a big knife in her hand, waiting for the 5 child's answer, waiting to fight with her life at any time. 5 child sneer, said no is no, say also is no. Is it? The cloud dances, the cool lips lift up a touch of condensation radiant. When the 5 elements of Dragon Qingxie attack and Die Ape is wielded, the Ape is smashed in the air, and the radiant of power is straight down. The magic power is entangled in it, and the virtual shadow of power falls one layer after another. Bang! Poof! The remains of the coffin are flying, the knife light is flashing, and the fire light is just like a meteor splashing out from the coffin, gathering in the dark space. In an instant, the dark space is as bright as day. There was also a purple figure following the residual strength. The purple figure was horizontal in the afterwave of strength, and there was no movement. The Xingxing robe was stained with scarlet blood, and the cold face was so white that it was impossible to look directly at it. Actually broke the tomb bug. 5 child looking at the coffin of remnant body horizontal fly, has been arrogant uninhibited face to cover up the surprise. If it wasn't for the man's strike, she should be back now, right? No, it's not. If the other party is not that man, no matter how fierce and quick she is, she will retreat and be seriously injured, just because the other party is him. What a terrible woman. The purple figure is whirled around by the residual force, and the speed is extremely fast. The black flame dagger wants to intercept it. Without the cloud dance, it can't play a big role. She is about to hit the stone wall, and her head is broken and bleeding. Just 1 second before the collision, the purple figure wrapped a white belt around her waist, suddenly tightened, and pulled her back to safety at the critical moment of life and death. Little thing, I'll leave the rest to my husband. The voice of evil spirit is so familiar, the broad chest is still that feeling. Suddenly, she felt a cool lip, something soft kiss her, like his lips, with a thin cool. If I kiss you for my husband, you will sleep obediently. Coma unconscious cool lips, not easy to detect the slight curvature, this feeling, really is him. She completely fell into a coma, with a reassuring smile, that shameless feeling is familiar to her, he came, she was safe, they were safe. It's a heartbreaking scene. 5 child looking at dragon poor evil, envy hate can't say is which kind of mood, it's a pity that this black and white, is thanks to you. Long Qingxie put Yunwu in the border, gave it to the rest of the guards, and walked forward to the 5th child alone. You've been watching. Deep eyes can't see the bottom, dangerous breath is spreading around. The 5th child nodded, I can be regarded as a witness of her true feelings for you. It's superfluous to live if you don't help yourself. With a wave of the dragon's long sleeve, the wind element was carried out in an all-round way in an instant, and a large area of wind swept towards the 5th child. 5 child figure like shuttle, easily escaped the pursuit of wind element, but in a second of relaxation, look changed. Bang! On the stone wall that should have been planted by the cloud dance, the figure of the 5th young master flew in, but a big hole popped up, and all the debris was scattered. 5 painfully twisted his face and breathed the breath in his body. Unexpectedly, the wind element was closely followed by the boundary space. If he didn't mean to be blocked by the boundary, it would only take him a second to escape. When I think about it, he has some doubts. Is it careless or belittled? This time, it's not helping you. Long Qingxie twisted the dust on the white robe. He looked calm and calm. He said, the next blow is because you don't repair it. What are you talking about? 5 pick eyebrow, even if he owe repair, how does he know? My woman wants to repair you. I'll do it for you. Dragon Qingxie saw a cloud dance one eye, Gold Mao is full of tenderness, change that huge fast. She looked at the 5 eyes, he noticed, although only slightly, but that glance, mixed with her wish to kill him. Well, you'd better see what's going on with your women first. 5 looking at some pain ring eyebrow cloud dance cold hum, the vision can't help but fall into her hand of wind heart body, have that thing, he can leave this ghost place. Nangong Yi steps to Yunwu, squats down to see what's wrong with her, but is stopped by Long Qingxie. She's breaking through. Don't disturb her. Nangong Yi's indifferent eyes glanced at him. He was looking at Yunwu. At last, he stood up and turned to look at Wu Gongzi. The posture of protection had been set. Shangguan several people also tacit understanding stood in the past. Long Qingxie looks at Cloud Dance's painful expression, and his sword eyebrows are slightly wrinkled, but he secretly shakes his head. This little thing, always break through at the critical time, so it seems how difficult it is for her to break through. Looking at her painful look, coupled with the serious injury he had just suffered, the undercurrent that had been hidden in his eyes was surging. Now breaking through it was like sprinkling a handful of salt on the wound. When the 5th young master saw the cloud dance when the pain broke through, he looked surprised. She is it Emperor Wu who wants to break through? How is that possible? She is a teenager girl, and her breath is not enough to break through. How can she? But what I saw in front of my eyes was the fact that the purple streamer around her was constantly flowing in her body, which emptied her power and constantly polished her power, but it was the strongest. Purple streamer curls around, the oncoming light does not have a trace of fierce, but every touch is a strange sound, gravel messy, robe scratch crack. That's the power of her power after the purple streamer. At that moment, Mr. 5 knew that he had lost. The woman would never agree to the conditions he wanted. His threat control had no influence on her. Kang. There was a strong crack in the sky, and several people felt a strong impulse above. Long Qingxie's golden eyes narrowed slightly, and his figure suddenly tilted, which instantly took Cloud Dance away from the original place. Bang wow! The Earth's surface was blasted by the powerful impact force, and in the whole dark space, a silver light from the void came in the air, splitting to the space ground. After the dust and stone flying, there was a crack space as big as a cliff crack in the sky, and a gravel crack on the ground appeared in front of several people, several meters deep. And just because of this strike, the vast light of silver snow shines through the crack space, and instantly brightens the whole space. In a flash, several residual shadows disappeared in the air. Are the ghosts of the battlefield graveyard coming? Long Qingxie narrowed his evil eyes and showed a bloodthirsty smile toward the direction of the ghost. He glanced at the cloud dancing and undefended side face lying quietly in the border, and his sword eyebrows wrinkled slightly. Do you think you can run away? Hand over the heart of wind and leave you a corpse. As soon as the voice fell, a black wind swept over the sky, and the dust rose all over the sky. The air pressure around it suddenly decreased, and the breath suddenly became gloomy and dark. The ghost had already fallen in front of us. And the woman? The ghost floats in the air, and the voice of evil is hoarse. Just now, desperate to catch up, I lost some vitality. Fortunately, breaking this space is abnormal. Breaking this space doesn't need to be too difficult to lose more vitality. But as long as you have the heart of wind, it's nothing. It was there. The left-wing general looked at the clouds dancing in the border not far away and snorted arrogantly, it's just a small border. Soon after that, a few threads burst out of his body, and those shadows, which had been condensed into a solid shape, suddenly shot in the direction of Cloud Dance. Once the dragon Qing Xia Pei is lifted, the three elements of power have been combined. When the forces meet in the air, they suddenly explode, and the light is as bright as day. The left wing general smiles again, and more silk threads fly in the direction of Cloud Dance. Long Qingxia is not willing to be outdone, so he holds up his heavy sword and resists hard in front of the border. Long Qingxia has a vague premonition in his heart. It seems that he is determined to get the heart of the wind, but now it doesn't seem so urgent. As long as Yunwu breaks through Emperor Wu, it will be more difficult for them to get the heart of the wind. No. There is a trace of depth in the dragon's evil golden eyes. They are absorbing the power of space elements. Looking back, that 5 child has no trace. He used his mental power to explore the whereabouts of the 5th child, and his eyes suddenly stayed not far from the border. All of a sudden, the conditioned reflex of Dragon's evil spirit made every effort to wave his sword in the direction close to the border, where the 5 young masters were unprepared and took a blow, showing their original shape. Looking at 5 child taking the opportunity to attack Cloud Dance, Dragon's eyes are burning bloodthirsty flame. They are in collusion. 5 child was exposed by a blow, but the element ball in his hand had already reached the boundary, which was the force of the element that disappeared in the air. I don't know what method the ghost used to gather this together, but also smuggled it to the 5th child. At this time, the element ball slightly deviates from the direction, but it is still bound. Boom! There was a burst of noise. It was too late for Long Qingxia to stop him. He could only watch the border tremble, as if he could not maintain it. The cloud dances in the border, the willow eyebrows frown tightly, and suddenly spit out a mouthful of blood. Little thing! Long Qingxia cried out anxiously. The cloud dances and you open your purple eyes. Because some elements in the coma are out of control, the color of your eyes keeps changing between purple and black. Some meridians were torn apart by the force of elements in the body, and then repaired by another unknown force. The skin cracked inch by inch, and then was repaired inch by inch. But the speed of repair is obviously not as fast as that of tearing. The pain of tendon tearing makes Yunwu bite his lower lip tightly, and the deep force of force also spills blood. The clothes have been dyed red by blood for a long time, and the whole person seems to be lying in a pool of blood, unable to move. So repeatedly, although the skin and muscles are tearing like pain, but the effect is also very obvious, the meridians obviously widen several times. In other words, the absorption of elements before the force of saturation can no longer be absorbed. But now it can absorb several times as much as before, and after reaching saturation, it has the power of silk elements to go deep into the muscles and strengthen the muscles and muscles. That mysterious power has been slowly repairing the tendons. Without this power, she would have died in a river of blood. Yunwu reluctantly concentrated his will to explore the mysterious force, but as soon as he approached, his consciousness was swallowed up. What a terrible power! Can swallow up her consciousness. Yunwu can't afford to explore this mysterious force for the time being. The tendons are constantly being torn and widened. The feeling of being able to break through is so strong. The elements in the body are constantly rushing around in the tendons. They all slowly become gentle under that force, and then blend into the tendons, but they always feel a little worse. And there is a fierce battle ahead. She must get up and go through the robbery quickly in order to keep everyone safe. The border was bombarded, but it was still stable. The heart of Long Qingxia finally fell to the ground, and then another layer of border was laid. Cloud Dance in the border, with the help of only consciousness and elements, bravely endured the pain and attacked Emperor Wu. It's really rubbish. Sneak attacks are all made like this. In my opinion, there is no need for us to cooperate. In mid-air, the left-wing general's cold hum came. The 5th young master covered his chest and coughed blood on the edge of the stone. His face was as white paper, and he could not refute. He then looked at the dragon and said arrogantly, "We'll see how long you can protect that woman." At the end of the speech, he made a strange gesture in front of his chest. Suddenly, the air was tight, and the force of the elements approached him at an obvious speed. A round colorful ball of light appeared in his palm. When Long Qingxie and others saw this, they all stood in front of the border and were ready to resist all attacks for the people inside. The light ball slowly rose and materialized in the sky. Everyone tacitly picked the right time for the transformation of the light ball and tried their best to meet it. Boom dash, the surrounding stone walls undergo another round of explosion, and the gravel spreads again. The crowd rises to the border, makes eye contact, and nods slightly. After that, the residual shadow appears, with the left-wing general as the center, showing a trend of encircling in all directions. They plan to besiege, but his power is too terrible, the power of ancient times is too weird, and they are too weak. Different colors are gradually rising in all directions, forming a line in mid-air, slowly moving towards the center like spider silk. All around is the rumbling sound of continuous crushing of gravel, the border is colorful, and under the pressure of huge stones, it keeps marching forward, firm and unyielding. Good, good, good. Haha, after 3 good words in a row, the left-wing general burst into laughter. His foggy body seemed to show a smiling face. In the middle of the smiling face, a pair of dark fog seemed to be eyes, dark and evil. However, at the moment, it shows a look of remembrance. He looked at these young people who were full of blood and didn't admit defeat. He thought about how spirited he was when he was still alive, but now he has a trace of soul in this world. He can only reluctantly restore his body and then practice from the beginning. All right. The left-wing general suddenly said a word without knowing what he meant, and then put away his own strength. He and the right-wing general and several others looked at each other and nodded. Let you see what real power is. A gust of wind suddenly blew around the ghost, which concealed his body. He couldn't feel a breath, and even the cobweb of elements, which connected all the people together, couldn't feel their breath. A few people mined a lin, vigilant scanning around. When Long Qingxie was carefully paying attention to his rear, suddenly, a sense of crisis came from his right side, and the cobweb of elements in his hand immediately waved to his right side, which was the power of all the people. A quick and violent blow, but nothing to the net, but suddenly a breeze on the left side. The next second, the white figure of Dragon Qingxie flew out. Bang! There was a roar from the stone wall, and a huge human pit appeared. Long Qingxie's face was pale, and he couldn't resist bleeding. Haha, it's vulnerable. The left-wing general laughed scornfully. As soon as the words were finished, Long Qingxie flashed back to the position just now, and laughed bloodily in a certain direction, where the left-wing generals were hiding. Several ghosts touched his eyes, and they were surprised. Then he said, "It's interesting, then we'll play with you again." All of them immediately adjusted their fighting methods, taking Long Qingxie as the leader and focusing their strength on him. Long Qingxie was more silent and more attentive to feel the familiar and strange smell of the ghost. Just now when they started, he had clearly smelled their smell. All of a sudden, a strong wind came towards his face, and the dragon's evil spirit resisted to his right side, but he was still hit on the stone wall, and his chi and blood were churning. No defense at all. Poof! Blood spilled out of the corner of the mouth again. Ha ha ha! The ghost began to be proud again, but when he looked up, he found that the dragon had returned to its original position. Yes, the ghost is under the ground, so the breath is hidden so well. In such a secret place, they don't think anyone will find it. They even begin to feel proud. But didn't discover, Long Qing evil intentionally or unintentionally looked toward their direction. Again and again, he was beaten in the wall, and the walls around him left large and small holes. I don't know how many times he vomited blood. He had only one idea. He fell, and she was in danger. Tendons and veins have recovered most of the cloud dance, slowly opened eyes. Now the body has not just so painful, the rest of the meridians are also slowly recovering, numbness of pain will not hurt. After a cursory glance, Yunwu turns to the battlefield, but is stunned by the scene. Long Qingxie's face was pale and white. He was shot again and insisted on coming back to be shot again. The evil guy was so embarrassed now. However, although embarrassed, he laughed more evil than ever. Cloud Dance looked at the back of the piece of mind, suddenly wet eyes. Although that person is often not as serious, mouth is not flat, but has been with her from the beginning to the end, what happened is always in front of her. Like now, she can clearly feel what he said, no one can step over me to hurt you unless I die. The cloud dances, the heart draws. I immediately wanted to break through Emperor Wu and fight side by side with him. But now, in addition to feeling the power of elements is close to full, feel a little bit of Emperor Wu's fur, the poor feeling is very different. Pa, is a clear sound again. Long Qingxie is photographed into the crack of the wall again, but there is no sound this time. The atmosphere was bewildered. Nangong Yi and others, who are fighting with other ghosts, see that the dragon is so evil, and their power is sharper. But the ghost burst out laughing, ha ha, boy, your cultivation is good, but in the end, you still can't do it. If you want to beat us, go to hell to practice. Ha ha ha. A few people listen to, look suddenly a change, even if want to die, also can't let these old immortals see joke. A few strong forces wave away. How dare you be so proud? Millennium cultivation can't kill him, waste. You can die. Another battle begins. In addition to Long Qingxie, Nangong Yi, and others have been in a mess. Yunwu stares at the crack of the wall, expecting the dragon to stand up, but there is only a fierce fight in the whole space, and even the breath in the crack of the wall is not audible. Long Qingxie. Purple pupil eyes suddenly become blood red, vaguely can see the blood flowing inside, bloodthirsty horror cold. Go to hell. She can no longer care whether her body is in the recovery stage, nor what the consequences are. At the moment, she just wants to beat those people with rampant voices to death. Hung Ling, Lan Yu, Bakshuir, come out for me. Cloud Dance Horse a roar, forcibly break through the border. All of a sudden, there was a strong wind behind him. There was something about to appear, but it seemed to be blocked by something. He could not come out. Her red eyes, am I, how to return a responsibility? Can't even Hungling appear in this space? Are you a summoner? No, that power is obviously. The voice of the left-wing general suddenly began to panic, my power, you are absorbing my power. Yunwu suddenly feels that her strength has increased, and the elements have been drilling into her body. The elements that were almost saturated were in a state of abundance, and even absorbed into the body. The meridians began to rise, and there was a tendency to tear. Cloud Dance has no other care, in the hands of a flash of black flame sword, a black light, with the momentum of thunder mixed with some natural force toward the left-wing general whistling away. Whoosh! The left-wing general couldn't avoid it. He put up a barrier to resist it. The powerful force had arrived, and the barrier lost most of its color. Impossible, impossible. You just got the heart of wind. How can you control it? The left-wing general, who was slightly injured, was full of disbelief. Cloud Dance does not speak, lips tight, black flame sword strong attack. The left-wing general was still in surprise, just dodging and not fighting back. Seeing that Yunwu can actually use the wind heart, he sighs slightly. It seems that he can stop. Once the wind heart is controlled, he can't control it. It's impossible to get the wind heart to leave. Bang! With a wave of his hand, the left-wing general blocked Yunwu's attack, and then looked up and laughed. Protected for thousands of years, today it recognized you, we will rest assured, a wisp of ghost, what to use it. As the laughter disappeared, the hazy shadow became more transparent and nihilistic. In the next second, the remaining shadows, which had just been fighting, suddenly broke up and turned into bits and pieces, which were incorporated into the whole space and several people at the same time. What's going on? Those of us who died thousands of years ago are finally going back to thousands of years ago. Then the shadow of the right-wing general and several other ghosts scattered into nothingness. Looking at the sudden scene, Nangong Yi Shengguan, several people look at each other, are a little puzzled. Little thing, have you broken through Emperor Wu? There was no joy in the dragon's evil golden eyes, but with a trace of deep doubt. Yunwu shook his head, no. She also had some accidents. This breakthrough was not as difficult as Emperor Wu had imagined. She woke up on the way. In the past, she could not get up, could she? All of a sudden, all of us feel a touch of abnormality, and we all feel that our body is entering a force that doesn't belong to us. It's broken. Dragon Qing Xie suddenly raised his eyes. Just after his voice fell, Yunwu's forehead suddenly tightened, and the huge power in his body surged, as if there were too many forces that could not be controlled. Damn it! Then she fell into endless darkness. Looking at the comatose cloud dance, the weak body of Dragon Qingxie is in a mess. The space is filled with the power of those ghosts, who release all their power. And the heart of the wind absorbed a lot of their power, the power cannot be reconciled. So forced her to break through, had to fall into the settled. It's hard to break through. It's not easy to break through. To break through Emperor Wu, we must go through Thunder Robbery. Thunder Robbery hasn't appeared yet. How can she? Nangong Yi looks at Yunwu and knows that she has absorbed the power of the ghost and is in the final state, so she doesn't say anything. And he himself broke through Wuzong through those forces, not only him, Shengguan, Meng Bai, Situ Lan, praying for the night. In addition to Cloud Dance, Dragon Qing Xie is the one who absorbs the most, but because of its own evil body. There is no breakthrough, but the strength is far above a few people. Quiet space, in addition to the smell of blood and cracks, has been restored to the original. Because of the arrival of Yunwu, Long Qingxie and others are protecting her while healing. She doesn't move, and they don't move as if they were petrified. Month after month unconsciously, half a year has passed. At last, there is a little movement in the almost fossilized Cloud Dance in rooting. Dragon Qingxie and others feel it and wake up one by one from guarding rooting. Dark clouds gradually began to gather in the sky above the head of Cloud Dance, rolling in, with a roaring sound. It's Thunder Robbery. To break through the thunder disaster that Emperor Wu had to experience. But now it's under the ground, and somehow the dark clouds are much stronger than ever. In other words, Yunwu's Thunder Robbery is more severe than others. She doesn't have any place to escape. Under such Thunder Robbery, she is afraid that she can't carry it. Boom! A flash of lightning fell and struck the clouds in the border. Long Qingxie and others quickly stepped back, and the golden giant thunder poured down into the air, constantly hitting the Cloud Dance in the border. Under the impact of giant thunder, Yunwu seems to feel the pain and curl up slowly. Looking at the Cloud Dance curled up in pain, the golden eyes of the dragon are more and more secluded. At the moment, she looks like a child in great need of protection, a lonely and helpless person who bears all the responsibilities. If you want to break through, Thunder Robbery is inevitable. But suddenly, Dragon's sexy thin lips start a very shallow radiance. With a touch of rapid illusion, the white figure has appeared around Yunwu. Boom! Ji Ming is constantly robbing herself, falling on her and hitting him. The tenderness in the golden eyes covers up the deep, little thing, you are so far away from Wei Fu, how can Wei Fu protect you? Every shot down on him was a bloodstain, but it healed strangely in the next second, and then it was scratched and healed again, and so on. Looking up at the Thunder Robbery in the air, the dark clouds are living in the sky, impartial. The Thunder Robber seemed more rampant because of his coming. Countless thunder lights were as dense as rain. Every hit on Yunwu, her face was pale. Now her face was as white as snow. Whether you can understand me or not, remember that the woman who hurt me, whether it's human, ghost or you, must pay the price. At the end of the speech, a mass of black haze appeared in his palm, and the black haze continued to spread, directly isolating Cloud Dance from thunder robbery. Long Qingxie knew that it was a necessary process to break through the thunder robbery of Emperor Wu, so he didn't try his best to stop the thunder robbery from flying to the clouds, but just used his own strength to reduce the huge momentum of thunder robbery. The dense golden blade is as thin as a blade. Every time it passes by Long Qingxie's side, his skin splits once, and the blood flows down his body. In a short time, he had formed a pool under his feet. The white robe seems to have been soaked in the blood, just like the Cloud Dance at the moment. You can clearly see the blood pouring out and flowing in his clothes. The slender blood bead flowed so fast that it soon came to the side of Cloud Dance and soaked the purple robe that hit the ground. It kept spreading and soaking. The direction of diffusion is the place where we are struggling violently. Situ Lan and Shangguan, who are outside the thunder robbery, are stunned at the scene. What is he doing? Save Xiaowu with your own life. It was like a scene of blood washing, impacting their eyes. In their eyes, Long Qingxie was already a blood man, and almost all his blood had flowed out. Black hair stuck to the back, robes attached to the body, a few meters around, all traces of blood flowing. He is still smiling, watching the Cloud Dance smile, smile obsession, smile tenderness, smile is still evil, but some ferocious decadent. To do so, he must die. However, he seems to take it for granted, as if to declare to everyone, his woman, even in hell, he also accompany. Seeing this scene, Nangong Yi's body trembles. There is a kind of bitterness in his eyes under baie de gauze, but there is a kind of unclear undercurrent. Perhaps, this is the point, he never compared to the evil man. Suddenly, a beautiful and extraordinary shadow came to the side of Dragon Qingxie, and the black palm power instantly covered the haze of Dragon Qingxie. Long Qingxie, if you die, it's better not to save now. If you save Xiaowu, you have to cry to death for you. It's not enough trouble before and after. Shangguan has always been a straightforward person. Loyalty is more important to him than life. I'm sure Xiaowu can feel it now. What she wants to do most is kick your feet, right? Situ Lan also came to Long Qingxie. I don't want to hurt her. Nangong Yi's gentle voice fell and his figure flashed away. The next is praying for the night and Meng Bai. One by one, they all share the powerful power of thunder robbery with themselves. For nothing else, just for their partner. However, after they arrived, the power of thunder robbery was obviously enhanced, but it was soon suppressed by the power of several people, and the thunder robbery on Yunwu was not so sharp. Nangong Yi and they were also seriously injured, but fortunately, after absorbing the strength of those ghosts, they broke through and recovered their internal injuries. Just, now they help Cloud Dance to cross thunder to rob, internal injury relapses again, can't control. But everyone didn't mean to stop. In the case of saving a little bit of life, they can do everything, and that little bit of life, just to let the people inside will not suffer. In this scene, the Cloud Dance in Lei Jie can clearly feel that she is struggling angrily, but she can't get rid of it. The blood in her body is constantly overflowing, and her skin is like a piece of thin paper, unable to stop the blood in her body, unable to stop the outflow of blood. The blood that flows out and the blood of dragon poor evil are mixed together. She could feel that the blood in her body was flowing and changing into new blood. But she can't wait any longer. If she keeps waiting, these fools will die. All of a sudden, the thunder and lightning in the sky turned black, and the thunder and lightning from the sky also became strange black, before everyone knew what was going on. Boom, ah. A voice that seems to have been shouting for a long time, suddenly resounding, angry, just like Jiang Tao who was angered, momentum like rainbow out of control. Just as everyone moved their eyes to the source of the sound, there was a lot of light in front of them. This sudden light, so that they cannot help but squint eyes in the moment, the body like a string general suddenly fly out. Cough. Well. It's killing me. Everyone was thrown to the ground by that power. Looking back again, I have left the thunder robbery. Looking up, I can see that in the thunder robbery, there is a purple shadow standing. Cloud dance. She finally woke up. Everyone's eyes are happy, finally can, but happy at the same time can't help some doubt. Why do you feel that she is very angry? Why do you feel that she just threw them out without mercy? The next second, everyone looked at the purple figure, suddenly poured a cool breath. See, that pair of ghost-like pupil eyes straight looking at them, a purple, a red, in the pouring down of the thunder, it is impossible to look directly at. Is it the devil? Shangguan and Meng Baixin look down at each other, and they can't help swallowing. In the thunder robbery, the purple robe was constantly cut by lightning. Cloud dance feet stepping on a pool of blood, her, his, and theirs. Why hasn't thunder come down yet? Situ Lan looks at the still rampant thunder robbery, and his eyebrows are slightly wrinkled. According to reason, Emperor Wu breaks through, and thunder robbery should disappear. It's because we've helped her make the transition, that's why she's mutated. Nangong Yi looks at Lei Jia with cool eyes. If the thunder robbery doesn't disappear, she will never get out. But now the thunder robbery can't take her anymore. It should be that after breaking through Emperor Wu, the thunder robbery is just a cage. In a moment, Yunwu raised her eyes and looked up at the sky, at the thunder robbers falling in the sky. Her eyes were cold, and a dark force appeared in her hand, attacking the thunder robbers all around. Long Qingxia saw this scene, thin lips provoked a far-fetched smile, forced a little sober, turned to leave. When she comes out and tells her, I'll be back soon. His body has been unable to survive, and must be reborn again to replace the bones, that scene, he did not want her to see. I can't guarantee that I can stop her. Situ Lan yelled at his back. I found that he was missing. With her personality, if I had to see him, it would be possible to dig the whole underground space for 3 feet. Under the thunder, Yunwu looks at the dragon which has turned into a phantom and disappeared in the cave, just like the eyes of the demon pupil, a cold light passing by. Maybe, others don't know, but she guessed what happened. Because the last time he died, she had already seen the scene that he needed to be reborn. She clearly told herself that she would never let him suffer like that again, but now, he is still for her sake. I can't help but feel angry. It's anger. I'm angry about why I still implicate him so much. The black flame sword suddenly appears in Yunwu's hand, and the fierce black flame turns into a black dragon shape, which directly pours on the thunder in the mid-air. Bang! Among the dark clouds, a mass of black shapes kept spinning, breaking the dark clouds apart. At that moment, the purple figure of Cloud Dance soared up. 2 burning flames appeared in the slender palm, which seemed to be integrated with the palm and directly extended into the dark clouds and thunder. Tear pull left and right to tear the cloud in 2. The torn trace is expanding, the flame is also spreading with the gap, and the dark cloud begins to be swallowed by the flame. On one side of the thunder robbery, several people were particularly surprised to see this scene. It's the first time that they have seen the strength of Emperor Wu. It's not only a variant thunder robbery, but also a variant thunder robbery. Can it avoid being hurt by thunder robbery? Is this the strength of Emperor Wu? Or is this the strength of the summoner? This is a little too fierce. It's a little scary. Shangguan looked at Yunwu and said something with emotion. Now her strength is Emperor Wu. Although it is not the peak, how many people can be her opponents? It's not just this one that's scary. Situ Lan agreed with a smile. Others may not know the secret of Dragon's evil, but as an iron brother of Dragon's evil, he knows it very well. All eyes moved and agreed with his words. The one who just left is also one of the monsters. His strength has increased sharply, but his class has not broken through. Now his strength is still Wuzong, but his real strength is no less than Wudi, right? Broken. A roar of arrogance came from the sky. The crowd raised their eyes. At the moment when they raised their eyes again, they only saw a red fire like magma. With the disappearance of a black shadow, the void of the cave had returned to normal. Thunder broke, just in the moment of their thinking. Purple figure around in the dark atmosphere, slowly falling, with a trace of indifference and coldness cannot be desecrated. Xiao Wu, congratulations. You are one step closer to your goal to break through Emperor Wu. Situ Lan pulled out a pale smile, and reluctantly stood up. The pain of fierce tearing from his skin and the tumbling breath in his body made him frown slightly. Yunwu glanced at him, but his eyes looked around from left to right. It didn't change much. Everyone knew what she was looking for, but they could only pretend they didn't know what she was looking for. Yunwu took out a few magic grasses from the space, handed them some, and said, "Let's go up. This place has been destroyed and is not suitable for healing." Yunwu raised her eyes and looked at the crack connecting the ancient battlefield. Her purple eyes faded away and her sharp black eyes narrowed slightly. In an instant, the frenzied breath of wind element lifted up, swept several people and disappeared in the same place. In the blink of an eye, people's bodies touched the earth again. After returning to God, they had returned to the ancient battlefield. Several people look at each other, this strength, long experience however, as soon as Yunwu came up, he frowned slightly and looked around. How could the air feel strange? When I first came here, I didn't have this feeling. Is it because the ghost disappeared? The breath here is great for healing. Nangong Yi looks at the cloud dance, gentle Wei. Yunwu looks at Nangong Yiwei's bloody face, slightly jaw-head, then droops his eyes and ponders for a moment, and says, "You take the magic grass first, heal here, I'll go back." Smell speech, South Palace East. Several people nod, sit on the ground. We all know what she is going to do, so we don't worry anymore and start to use the power of space to heal ourselves. However, Yunwu didn't leave immediately. Instead, she glanced at the cave where she had fallen, and her eyes were cold. At this time, Shengguan was seriously injured. If she left, the 5-child in the cave would attack. Although we are injured, the dead camel is bigger than the horse, not to mention one. Don't worry about it. Sitalan sat cross-knee, closed his eyes and said a word. The cloud dances, the corners of the mouth pass quietly, a trace of warmth, a spin body, the falling snow radiant instantly changes, the purple shadow has disappeared in the eyes. What's the attitude of Xiao Wuhui? He would not feel better if he was hurt because he was a little bit of a dancer. Yes, it's time for him to suffer. It's too self-assertive. Ever since the ghost of nothingness, the ancient battlefield of this space is floating snow. This spectacle, it seems, cannot be explained. However, this strange world is so strange that many situations can't be explained, so it's not surprising. All the way down the fall of snow, with the clouds that a touch of shadow gallop, in all the snow, forming a sharp contrast, unique color. All of a sudden, the speeding snowflakes suddenly stagnated. Without the support of the forward wind, they all fell down in an instant. The purple figure of Cloud Dance stood in the place where the snowflakes were floating. The indifferent star eyes looked at a place in the distance for a long time, and finally walked quietly. The pace was very slow and the voice was very shallow, and no one seemed to find it. In a stone pool in the distance, a fine and healthy body appeared in front of us. In the charming and hazy fog, the man's thin lips are tight, his eyes are closed, his sword eyebrows are wrinkled, and his long hair is wet. It seems to be extremely painful. All of a sudden, the tendons on his forehead burst up, then his arms and chest, the tendons seemed to be stirred up, and his heart was beating faster and faster. At that moment, her heart was beating violently, and she could hear it clearly. With the continuous twitching of muscles and veins, more and more sweat on his forehead, his face as pale as paper, constantly twitching abruptly. Then, the skin began to split from the heart one by one, and all the muscles seemed to be alive, beating desperately, and all the surface layers of the bones began to tear open, so the white bones were exposed. Seeing this scene, Yunwu's heart immediately pulled up. She once thought that she would never want to see this scene again, and would never want him to suffer such pain because of her. But this time, or is it because of her slender fingers unconsciously clenched up, nails into the skin, blood shun ji and flow, she also completely unconscious. Long Qingxie, I have been working hard in a direction. The luckiest thing on the way is to have you with me all the time. Let me know that I am getting closer to you. There won't be another time, no more, no more. Shiqi, his body is still changing, those beating flesh and blood layer by layer broken. From head to foot, the dragon has been wrapped in the pool of blood, some of the new flesh has slightly exposed traces, but it is shocking in the pool of blood. Yunwu turns around and leaves. The blood flows with her steps. She goes to the back of a blue stone coffin and sits down. She doesn't want to see that scene, but she can't help spending it with him. The last thing he wanted was to be seen by her, so she never came and never saw it. A few hours later, Yunwu found that the dragon's breath finally returned to normal. Knowing that he had been reborn, the smile on the corner of his mouth quietly hooked up. In a few hours, she didn't worry about the situation of Nanganji. She went back to Nanganji. She didn't find anything unusual, so she rushed over and continued to protect him. Beyond the earth, the darkness has passed and the dawn has come. Saw. A heavy but slow step came from not far away. The dragon's sword eyebrows are lowered, and the beautiful mist condenses into a barrier in an instant. When the next second subsided, Long Qingxie had already put on his inner clothes, and now the figure not far away had come. What are you doing here? Cloud Dance micro-pick eyebrow to look at him, between the eyebrows with a trace of displeasure. Long Qingxie's thin lips conjured up a smile of evil spirit, tied his waist belt and lifted his long hair. Just after bathing, little thing, you're a little late, or you can take a mandarin duck bath together. Long Qingxie seems to be imagining the scene of bathing with her, with a happy expression on his face. Cloud Dance suddenly did not speak, so quietly looking at him, silent. Long Qingxie did not speak any more. He also looked at her quietly and said nothing. After a long time. It turns out that you prefer to wear less for your husband. Then take off this one for your husband. Do you like it more? With a smile of evil, the dragon suddenly comes to Yunwu and takes off his clothes. Boring. Cloud Dance said in a deep voice, turned and left. Behind him came the dragon's evil and enchanting laughter. Although the laughter was extremely weak, it was also the best sound. In fact, both of them have been used to this mode of getting along. Strength in the battlefield helps to recover from internal injuries. Get dressed and go. Dragon Qingxie instantly dressed, looked at the scene in the stone pool, looking at the back of the Cloud Dance, laughing a little helpless. This little thing is so smart. Yunwu and Nangang returned to the battlefield to meditate and heal together. After 10 days, several people's body functions finally recovered. Recovered the body and strength, get what you want, a few people will leave. However, just as he left, Yunwu suddenly thought of the man in the cave, the fifth child. When they were seriously injured, he didn't attack. According to his original intention, he should choose to attack when both sides were injured. Why didn't he attack? Wait for me. Cloud Dance looked at a few people behind, turned and walked toward the cave. Don't come here, or I'll change my mind. In the cave, the man's voice rang at the right time and stopped her. The voice drifted into the void. Without any strength, it seemed that it would no longer exist. Cloud Dance stops, willow eyebrows slightly frown, suddenly want to open, don't want to get wind heart. She knew earlier that what he wanted was for her to get the heart of wind in the hands of those ghosts, and then he took it from her, probably thinking that he was not the opponent of the spirits, but she would be easier to deal with than the spirits. Have you suddenly changed your mind? Yunwu looks at the stone cave road. There was a long silence in the cave, and then a burst of laughter came. You are the summoner, and you have broken through Emperor Wu. I'm not your opponent, and I recognize you. These words, from the heart and heart, but with a trace of desolation. Isn't it an opponent? When they were all exhausted and bruised, he could have let go. Although he still couldn't win, he tried at least. He just didn't want to struggle anymore and didn't have the strength to make trouble with them. But even so, you can't get out of my place. The man added. Cloud Dance a smile, she wants to go out, where can go out, she broke through Emperor Wu he all know, how can not know these? Then you'd better take care of yourself. Has your pet gone back? Long time no see. You shouldn't worry. Don't worry. I'll see you later. The Cloud dances, the corners of his mouth are slightly raised, and his eyes are drawn back. In a moment, the earth elements infect his palm, and the roaring sound spreads from the ancient battlefield. Gone. The smell of soil rolled, and several figures disappeared in the ancient battlefield. No matter who you are, no matter how I want to save you now, but thousands of years ago, you should die. This road you choose, I have completed everything. On the mountain, the smell of nature came, a few lazy people. Who for more than half a year, I can finally see the sun again. Shangguan stretched his lazy muscles and took a deep breath of the airway. I still miss such a day. Situ Lan followed the road. Although there is a lot of space under the ground, I still like to step on the earth. It's better to live on land where the sun and the moon are visible. But is there something wrong with the current situation? They remember that this area should have come from the woods. How could it be that all the vegetation around it was withered? At a glance, it was bare and poor. Moreover, the sky seems to be heavy rain, dark clouds shrouded in depression. What's going on? Can't the thunderbolt of clouds destroy the trees in this area? Just from the ground up a few people looked at the surrounding environment, some doubt. Where are we going next? Meng Bai looks at the cloud dance that seems to be thinking about something. He doesn't know what she is thinking. The cloud danced back and shrugged, we've got it, then we'll. Suddenly, the cloud dance stopped. While several people stopped at the same time, Mori's cold eyes looked at a place in front of him at the same time. In the front, there's murderous gas, there's abnormality. There, go after it. A sharp voice came. As soon as the voice fell, several people saw a figure coming in a hurry. After seeing them, the figure stopped running for a while, and then ran towards them even harder. It's Feng Huang. She was followed by two black-robed men, who pursued her fiercely. Help me. Feng Huang rushed to Yunwu's side, her body seemed to have been unable to support, and fell to the ground with a plop. For the first time, Feng Huang, who was so proud when she met each other, asked for help. Cloud Dance looks down at her, and then looks at the two black-robed people who come after her. With a squint of eyes, the fighting spirit of thunder comes out in an instant, which directly knocks down the two beast gates and spits blood. Yes, it's you. One of the men of the beast gate looked at the cloud dance and raised his eyes in horror. For a few people in Yunwu, at this time, the people of Wanwoman in Feng Huang clan are unknown. It's me. Cloud Dance sneers. Then the palm of his hand was empty, and the black-robed man felt suffocated at the neck. His face turned red to green, struggling powerlessly, and finally gave up. It's so simple, one life died in the hands of Yunwu. Feng Huangnu looked at the dead black-robed man and stood up. There was a bit of confusion in her eyes. She begged, please, help me kill the dark beast and save the Phoenix family. Save the Phoenix? This sentence is really strange. However, Cloud Dance at this time, but slightly sneer, the Phoenix family has not been chasing me, what reason do I have to help you? Smell speech, the color of the Phoenix goddess dimmed a little, Phoenix people have inexplicable vigilance to human beings, all the reasons are because of me, if the Phoenix can be safe, I am willing to repay you with death. You will repay me with your death. Cloud Dance helpless shake head sneer. She's dead. Can Phoenix let her go? But then again, as soon as they came up from under the ground, the Phoenix came to her for help. Is that a coincidence? However, before that, should you explain that we just appeared here, why did you come to us for help by coincidence? This question can't be asked without being clear. She doesn't like being calculated. Feng Huang looked at the bodies of the two beasts on the ground, looked up at Yunwu, and did not hide. You have the phoenix mark left by my son, but I left the breath on him before, he is on you, so as long as you appear in the territory of the Phoenix clan, I can feel, the appearance of Yunwu and others is just right. Feng Huangnu is chased by the people of Wanwoman. When she senses Yunwu, her first reaction is towards her. Because, she thinks at this time can save the Phoenix clan, perhaps only that contract her son's human girl. She is the Phoenix, and the Phoenix family of the beast, the nature of arrogant, but at this moment she can no longer go arrogant. Because of her, now let the Phoenix into the land of doom. Miss Yun. I apologize for what I did before, but this time, on behalf of the Phoenix family, I sincerely ask you to help us. Feng Huang lowers her body, bows down towards Yunfei, and bows in front of Yunfei in a 90-degree arc. For Phoenix people, this kind of etiquette is absolutely sincere. To tell you the truth, Yunfei is not used to Feng Huang. Feng Huang's identity in the Phoenix family, in human terms, is equal to the saint of a family. Needless to say, she has a noble identity. At this time, she was so low and asked for help from human beings. If you do it in peacetime, I'm afraid it will be regarded as a shame by the Phoenix people. But she still came to them for help. It seems that for more than half a year they have been underground, something might have happened to the Phoenix clan. Yunwu didn't rush to answer, but turned his head and looked at the man beside him. Dragon Qing evil mouth slightly yang, pick eyebrow of handed her a look, seemed to say, she decided to be good, he accompany. And you? Cloud Dance Dynasty South Temple East. Several people saw one eye, don't need words, several people already understand her meaning. Several people almost tacit understanding at the same time shrug, a pair of let her make up her mind. In fact, the heart of the wind has been in hand, and it has wasted more than half a year underground. Yunwu originally planned not to waste time in the Phoenix clan. It's just. Since you want us to help, let's talk about the current situation. The more detailed, the better. Cloud Dance. This meaning, is to promise to help. Long Qingxia's lips seem to have anticipated her decision. Although Yunwu seems to be indifferent, she is more affectionate and righteous than anyone else. Even if it's not for Phoenix, she will be for that little stink. Feng Huang's eyes flashed a trace of gratitude, but also hurriedly said in detail what happened during this period. It turned out that after Yunwu people entered the underground, the people of the Beast Gate were still looking for the whereabouts of Yunwu people. At the same time, they began to control the Dark Beast, and began to target the people of the Phoenix family. At first, because of the relationship between Feng Huangnu and the Dark Beast, this kind of targeting was not obvious. But later, the people of the 10,000 Beast sect did not know what to do. The Dark Beast became more and more irritable, and Feng Huangnu's dissuasion no longer worked. The Phoenix clan and the Dark Beast finally made the same mistake as before, and fought again. Although the fighting power of the huge Phoenix clan falls to the Dark Beast, it can still compete with the whole Phoenix clan. However, during the war, the people of the Beast Gate moved from the dark to the light, and joined hands with the Dark Beast to fight against the Phoenix clan by sneak attack. In that war, the Phoenix family was seriously injured. After the war, the special dark power of the Dark Sacred Beast, with the blood of the Phoenix, gradually covered the entire area of the Phoenix, and the dark breath of death spread, covering the entire Phoenix in a border-like mode. This also led to the withering of vegetation, the evacuation of spiritual power, and the suppression of more than half of the fire source spiritual power of the Phoenix people. After the other fighting resistance, almost the Dark Beast does not have to hand, the people of the 10,000 Beast Gate can capture and suppress the royal clan leaders of the Phoenix clan. At this time, the Phoenix clan can be said to have been controlled by the Beast Gate. Feng Huangnu witnessed what happened these days, but she couldn't stop it. When she really understood it, she found that the original purpose of the people of the Beast Gate was actually the Phoenix family. In particular, she accidentally found that the Dark Beast, the man she loved in her heart, was completely controlled by the people of the 10,000 Beast sect in half a year, and even her memory disappeared. She came to her senses. Therefore, she escaped from the beast gate and was chased all the way. Then she met several people in Yunwu. After listening to what Feng Huang said, Yunwu couldn't help frowning. In a short time, the beast gate not only controlled the whole Phoenix clan, but also completely controlled the dark beast. This kind of efficiency is really frightening. Who knows, besides this Phoenix clan, that 10,000 beast gate still has not infiltrated in other places. However, what Cloud Dance can't understand is that what is the purpose of the beast gate? How far is the influence of the beast gate spreading? It seems that the more we get in touch with each other, the less we understand the Cloud Dance of the beast gate. If you want to destroy the beast gate and rescue her grandfather, is it enough to find 5 natural elements and 4 natural forces? Dragon Qing evil looking at the side of the little woman, eyes quietly flashed a deep undercurrent. How could he not know what she was worried about? However, with him, no matter how difficult it is, he will settle it for her at any cost. With me, don't worry too much. Raise hands, slender fingertips gently smooth Cloud Dance that frown up small brow. Then he added, just do what you think is right. Cloud Dance lifted Mao to see the man of evil in front of eyes, the corner of mouth finally micro hook up. Yes, with this man by her side, what is she afraid of in the future? Cloud Dance looks back at a few people behind him and says, let's go, work. Nangong Yi didn't say much from the beginning to the end, but the tacit understanding didn't seem to need to say much. Several people nodded and did not answer. Thank you, thank you. Feng Huang said gratefully. Don't thank me. I'm just doing it for the little stink. She doesn't want little stink to lose his home, doesn't want him to lose his parents, that's all. Feng Huang looks at the Cloud Dance leaving, a little stunned. Mingming was hostile to her at the beginning, but why did she choose to ask her for help now? Asking a human for help? In fact, she didn't know. Or think, this human, her son chose. Trust comes from this. Shengguan, Situ Lan, I'll give you a job to put out the guards of Fenghuang people and let them out. The Cloud dances while walking. Why me? What's the advantage? Shengguan echoed his dissatisfaction. Why are all his bad jobs? Then you do my business and negotiate with the rest of Wanshuman. Cloud Dance looks at Shengguan easily. Forget it. I prefer to fight. Shengguan turned his mouth, shrugged his shoulders and negotiated with the beast men. He was afraid. Don't complain if you look at him. Nangong Ichi night, you go to inform other Fenghuang people, in the name of Fenghuang priest and small stinky pure blood demon Huang, tell them, let them fight against the beast gate in our name, willing to follow, not willing to casually. By now, no one should be unwilling, right? If someone still doesn't want to help the Phoenix clan, she's just meddling. Nangong Ichi nods at night and leaves in another direction. After the division of labor, Yun Wulong and Meng Bai go to Fenghuang Noble Mountain Palace. If you're right, where is the leader of the beast sect? This time, maybe take the opportunity to destroy the beast gate rooted in the Phoenix clan. In fact, the reason why Yunwu helped this time was that in addition to Xiaoqiu, she actually took a trace of selfishness. The influence of the beast gate is too big. Even if she finds 5 natural elements and 4 natural forces, it will be difficult for her to uproot the beast gate in one day. If we solve the 10,000 beast gate of the Phoenix clan this time, it will be a blow to the 10,000 beast gate and disrupt their plot to control the Phoenix clan. As for the Phoenix clan, no matter whether they want her help or not, they will never conspire with the people of the beast gate. All in all, it's good for them to help. The dark atmosphere enveloped the entire Phoenix family, and it was dead everywhere. There was a smell of death in the diffuse darkness, and there was no vitality. In the past 6 months, the Phoenix people in this area near the mountain palace have almost become a dead people without any vitality. Fenghuang Noble Mountain Palace. Half a year, without any news from them, they can disappear out of thin air, waste. An angry rebuke shocked the whole mountain palace. Please calm down, Dharma Protector. We have been searching the area covered by thunder and robbery that day. We will have news soon. What are you doing? Go to find it soon. Yes. Cloud danced. 3 people perched in the top of the mountain palace, looking at the scene in front of them. Cloud Dance's eyes flashed a sense of incomprehension. Half a year. It turned out that they had stayed in the underground space for half a year. You've been breaking through, so I don't know. Now it's half a year since you broke through. Long Qingxia's sharp eyes saw the incomprehension on her face and explained with a light smile. In the past 6 months, they have been looking for your trace, but there has been no result. I think this time it's because of the feeling of thunder robbery and the uneasiness in my heart that I'm so angry. Feng Huang opened her mouth and said, with a sense of pleasure in her tone. Yes, it's pleasure. From Yunwu, she felt the change of her breath, and naturally guessed that Yunwu was the one who accepted thunder robbery. The significance of thunder robbery shows that her strength has broken through Emperor Wu and entered a kind of leapfrog progress. This means that she must be able to defeat the people of the Beast Gate and save her people. Cloud Dance turns to see Feng Huang's line of sight dead stare at just the place of the voice. In the eyes flashed a trace of hatred. There are many opportunities for revenge, but not now. The cold voice of Cloud Dance rings out, like a spring, which extinguishes the madness of Feng Huang's heart and makes her feel excited. Knowing that her hatred is too obvious, she is easy to do impulsive things. Now, being reminded by Yunfei, Feng Huang realizes that it's not right and can't help but withdraw her sight. Little thing, have you figured out how to negotiate? After Yunwu finished his words, he fell into deep meditation. It was only after a long time that his brow finally stretched out. As a result, his expression just changed, and he heard the voice of Long Qingxia asking himself. The Cloud danced to curl a mouth, in the heart feel sad abdomen. This man can really more and more resemble the Ascaris lumbricoides in her belly. Turn head. Don't trust of toward Feng Huang. New order day. Want to save your clansmen? Wait a moment. If saw the person of 10,000 beast door, don't impulse. Feng Huangnu was stunned. She almost wanted to kill them when she thought of the people in the Beast Gate, but Feng Huang looks at Yunfei. She seems to see something in her eyes. Then she bites her lips and says firmly, "Don't worry, I will do it." Now that I've asked her for help, there's no reason why she won't cooperate. In that case, let's start. Cloud Dance said, and then will Feng Huang catch up, in her not yet react to come over, a palm in the shoulder, directly her pat fly out. Eh! Feng Huang was hit straight out, fell heavily in front of the mountain gate, alerted a group of guards. Hiss, she won't die if she flies out like this. Meng Bai looked at Feng Huang who was directly hit and flew to the gate of the mountain, and said in a low voice. Cloud Dance white he one eye, helplessly say, I start will be so unknowable. Who? The guard of the Beast Gate, who is guarding the mountain gate, suddenly starts to shout angrily at Feng Huang, who is lying unconscious. But nothing happened for a long time. Feng Huang lying on the ground seems to be seriously injured, in fact, only feels some pain in the shoulder. Yunwu used the wind element to send her here, and told her to lie down and dress like she was seriously injured. So even though she knew that she was already at the gate of the mountain, and all the people in front of her were from the Beast Gate, she still stifled the impulse to stand up and work hard. Wait! This seems to be the Phoenix girl who escaped not long ago. Another guard recognized the identity of Feng Huang with sharp eyes, and quickly pulled her companion and said, Hurry, go to report, we have caught Feng Huang. Go, the urged companion responded and quickly said, Ah. Good, I'll go right now. You can watch her. After that, he quickly turned around and ran all the way to the depth of the mountain palace. Well, it's time for us to go down, too. Cloud Dance looked at the guard who ran to report excitedly, hooked up the corner of his mouth, flashed a little cunning at the bottom of his eyes and said. The rest of the guards stood beside Feng Huang and looked at her, thinking that this was Feng Huang who had been chased for a long time. Now she fell in front of her. This is a great achievement. Just as he was thinking about the future of being highly praised and going all the way up, the three figures of Shua Shua fell directly in front of him. Guard a Leng, the moment that raises one's head only feels a stir to work properly. Whoosh! A thumb-sized hole in the forehead looms through the brain. Then, the guard who was daydreaming just a moment ago fell down and had a complete dream. Cloud Dance a face coldly cast an eye to the ground that corpse, afterwards just put away the vision, turn a head of toward Meng Bai make a wink. Meng Bai immediately knew, went forward to help Feng Huang up, let her stand soft, as if still, in a coma. In a moment. In the mountain palace, a series of noisy sounds sounded, and then several figures appeared directly in front of the three people. The people of the beast sect who came after hearing the news thought that they would see Feng Huang who was seriously injured. The clinker Feng Huang saw it, but it was not in their hands, but in the hands of Yunwu III. Yes, when they see the cloud dance, they are all stunned. Looking for a few people for half a year, unexpectedly oneself appeared in front of them. It's you. You have come to the door by yourself. The head of the black-robed man saw the cloud dancing among the three people at a glance, and there was a flash of heat in his eyes. At this moment, the Feng Huang held by Meng Bai is not so important. It's a big gift for you this time, but if you still stare at my woman like this, I don't mind digging your eyes in return. Long Qingxie said lazily, then he hugged Yunwu in his arms. The man in black, staring at his woman's eyes, but let him very uncomfortable. The Dharma protector's face under the black robe sank and his tone became rampant. What a big tone, do you even have the courage to appear here? Having said that, the huge breath directly emerged, sweeping the past toward the cloud dance 3. If we don't show up, who will send Feng Huang to you? Cloud Dance learns the tone of Dragon Qing Xia and says lazily, with a faint smile on her face, looking at the man in black robe, but her eyes are cold and incomparable. That is about to roll up the momentum of the three cloud dance to stop abruptly, and then disperse in the air. The man in black froze and stared at Yunwu. What do you say? Cloud Dance raised her hand and pointed to the Feng Huang held by Meng Bai. Here, I'm here to negotiate with you, this sincerity. Yunwu and his three men came alone, but they didn't have an entourage behind them. However, they dared to stand in front of the gate of the mountain palace and say the word, negotiation, in such a big way. On the contrary, the black-robed man couldn't figure it out. You know, compared with Feng Huang, Yunwu is the object that the beast men are looking for. They came to the door so aboveboard, didn't they? What cards does she have? In this way, the black-robed Dharma protector had scruples in his heart. The line of sight revolves around Yunwu 4 people, and secretly observes whether there is an ambush nearby. Yunwu noticed his little action, but didn't stop it. Originally, this was an empty city plan. The purpose of their coming here is not to destroy the beast gate for the time being. That kind of large-scale battle can't be achieved by just a few of them. If you want to destroy the beast gate here, you have to unite the whole Phoenix clan. And they just need to delay as much as they can. What do you want to talk about? After exploring around for a long time, the black-robed Dharma protector didn't notice anything. Suddenly, he was more confused and asked. Seems to want to get more information through Cloud Dance. It's not normal for people who can't even be caught by the deputy patriarch to come to the door for no reason and negotiate. She's in my hands now, and if I take her away, I promise you'll never find her. Cloud Dance said with a sneer. She knows that the people of the 10,000 Beast sect are more or less afraid of the existence of Feng Huangnu at this time. How can we say that she is the goddess of the Phoenix family, and has so much to do with the dark beast, plus the son of the pure-blood demon Huangnu? As long as the 10,000 Beast Gate wants to really control the Phoenix clan completely, it must kill the Phoenix girl. Now that you have all come to the door, do you think you can escape from so many of us? The surging intention of killing emerged from the black-robed Dharma protector, and he almost couldn't help attacking Yunwu. But the next second, because of the Cloud Dance, the next words stifled. Don't you want the Phoenix to belong? I've got a way to make the phoenix completely obey you. You let the phoenix belong to our beast gate? Do you think we're all idiots? The black-robed man said with a sneer, now the Phoenix clan is our beast gate. Do you still need to help me? Cloud dance smell speech, suddenly haha a smile, immediately Despisive looked at him one eye, already is your. The Phoenix clan has suffered heavy casualties. Today's combat effectiveness is less than half of what it used to be. The part accepted is also coercion and inducement. If something happens, I'm afraid it won't work for you at all. What are you going to do with a phoenix like this? Yunwu's words happened to be in the heart of the black-robed man. Although there is a dark beast of the town, but the Phoenix family is not so easy to control after all. Only by violence, over time, there will be rebellion, so he will be so anxious to kill Fenghuang, cut off their hope. Just, let them scruple at this time, in addition to Fenghuang, but also in front of this cloud's several people. Seeing that the other party didn't speak, Yunwu knew that his own words had been heard, and then said, my method can make the Phoenix people willingly join the Beast Gate for your use, and can make them return to their previous fighting power in a short time. Restore combat effectiveness in a short time. I have a lot of pills, but I don't know your sincerity of cooperation. The black-robed man trembled all over his body, and his heart suddenly moved. You mean? The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to hook up a ray of radiant way, but I also have condition, you must guarantee their safety. They, of course, refer to the phoenix. The black-robed man's eyes sank, and a low voice rang out, is that it? Why do you think I believe you? You can choose not to believe it. Cloud Dance said, then you take this incomplete phoenix, worried about their resistance at any time. After that, he turned around and was ready to leave. Stop! The black-robed man yelled behind him. If you can see his expression, you will find the cunning in his eyes at this time. After all, it's negotiation. It's not a good way to go. If you don't live in the clan, how about waiting until I think about it and discussing it carefully? The Fenghuang, who fell in Meng Bai's arms, was enraged when she heard that the black-robed Dharma protector took the place of the Fenghuang clan as their own territory. She invited them as a master. Sooner or later, she will solve them by herself. Meng Bai felt the shaking of Fenghuang's body and pressed her shoulder hard. Pain stimulation finally did not let her do anything. Thank you very much. We don't want to be a turtle in a jar. Yunwu sneered back at the crowd and said, if you want to think about it, think about it. I'll ask the result in 3 days. As for now I won't disturb you. After that, directly pulling the sleeves of Fenghuang and Meng Bai, she left here quickly. Stop! The black-robed man roared angrily, and the huge momentum suddenly appeared, directly rolling towards the four. At the same time, Fenghuang's insidious attack is coming. Don't attack, just leave. Cloud Dance said categorically, directly pulling 2 people's sleeves, fast forward. After a few moments, he disappeared into the sight of the black-robed man and could not attack anymore. The black-robed Dharma guards glared at the direction they left, clenched their fists and stomped their feet. People who can't even be caught by the deputy patriarch, as a branch protector, naturally won't go after and kill them out of their ability. It's just, negotiate with me. The man in black said with a sneer, then I'll take your way to take the Phoenix family for my own use, and then I'll settle accounts with you. With this calculation in mind, I am ready to go back to my home. At this moment, a guard full of blood rushed out of the palace gate. Protect the law, no, the prison has been robbed. The sound of panic rang all the way, and finally came to the ear of the black-robed Dharma protector. The black-robed Dharma protector's eyes glared and grabbed the messenger's guard in his hand. His eyes looked like he was going to eat people. He asked fiercely, what did you say? You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.